Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah.
Make sure this is off.
Hump Day's here. Turn your phone off.
I'll make sure this is off.
Come on.
We got to make sure these is off. This is going to go crazy.
Welcome to
ringer
the
was
Ultimate
still on.
Cleveland Sports Show. We're halfway through another week. As much as I hate to say it, yes, we will be discussing the Deshaun Watson thing once again.
Let me ask you this, Jay.
I think we're all sick of it.
If the last 15 minutes that we had off the air, if that conversation went on the air, would we be fired or would it be the biggest ratings ever?
It
Well,
is
maybe
biggest,
both.
biggest
Maybe
ratings
both.
ever.
I'll tell you this much. Just there are certain breakthrough stars in the podcast and stream space.
Yeah.
That
would be it.
They stay away from nothing.
Yeah.
I
But I got to tell you, what was discussed here in this room for
Yeah.
the last 15 minutes,
Yeah.
I would be uncomfortable talking about.
Oh, my God. Between what I
any
just said
forum.
right before we came
Right
on,
before-
10 minutes ago, I won't say what you said, Jay, but Tyvus and I are talking, and then all of a sudden we just barely hear Jason, and then we're like, what?
Yeah.
Boom. That's what it was. You stopped the whole conversation. Wait,
oh,
what did he
my
say?
God.
So welcome to the Ultimate
Yes.
Cleveland Sports Show. I'm Jay Crawford. Later in the show, we're going to find out the team LeBron James would most like to play with that's still left in the playoffs. Which, by the way, I think that's like picking your poison. But he answered it, and we'll discuss his answer on the program coming up. G. Bush, what do you got today?
I didn't know we were shotgunning open.
We're not going, we weren't supposed to today.
Well,
But I
I
got
told Jay.
audible.
I told Jay 2 minutes ago. You nodded. I literally said 2 minutes
sad.
ago. We're skipping the shotgun intro.
That must have been when Bull was making his comment right before the show that I said, wait a minute.
I was like, oh,
This
what?
was at 10:58. Hey guys, we got too much to get to. We're
Let's
skipping
go.
the shotgun intro.
All right, screw
Let's
it.
get right into it.
Basically, you know where we're starting.
Yeah.
And I brought it up just a second ago. None of us enjoy sitting here talking about this.
Not at all.
But it involves the biggest player on the biggest sports team in town. So, yeah, we're going to go to the New York Times article, and we're going to get our reaction on this. Here's the nuts and bolts to the article if you didn't read it. The Times, through a lengthy investigation, and I do think that this was journalistically solid. This piece, I thought, had all the 10 posts of good journalism. They have uncovered that the number of different massage therapists that Deshaun Watson has seen over a 17-month span was 66. Now, of the 66 women, 24, we already knew that, have filed lawsuit, the civil lawsuit. So why is this a story? I think it's a story because previously that number was, according to Watson, around 40 women. Around 40 different women. Mm-hmm. There was also some other things in the article that certainly may have raised some eyebrows. Mm-hmm. In the piece, they talk about how the Houston Texans, they used the word enabled.
Yeah.
I thought that might have been a bit of a stretch because what they're saying is that the Texans secured some of the locations and that there was also, and this was the thing that I really had a problem with, that there was a team-provided NDA to at least one of the massage therapists.
That's very shady.
That I don't understand why you would ask a massage therapist to sign an NDA. I know NDAs have become more and more common for pro athletes as they're trying to keep their lives private, but that, to me, that seems a little greasy. But anyhow, the team did set up this private location for Watson to get some of these massages. What I thought the Times fell short of was linking the massages in which the Texans provided a location and any sexual improprieties taking place at those massages. Because remember, if 24 women have come forward, and we know now that there are 66 women, if you do the quick math, that means 42 either haven't alleged any improprieties or they haven't filed criminal or civil lawsuits. So this obviously, I don't think anybody's saying that this happened at every massage. So what I felt the Times fell short on was connecting the dots between the locations provided by the Texans, those massages, and improprieties taking place. Anyhow, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, Jay,
what's your
I
reaction
think,
to this
well,
piece?
first of all, some people have made a big deal about, you referenced it briefly, that he had said there were 40-something and there were actually 60-something. To me, I don't look at that as a big deal. I've gotten a good amount of massages, never anything sexual in nature in my married life.
Right.
But in the last 5 years, if you ask me how many masseuses I've been to, I might say 15 or 12. I don't know, but the actual number might be 22. I'm not keeping track of how many people. I don't have a list.
I don't know that anybody does.
Right. So if he's gone to 66, but he said, "Oh, I went to 45," I don't think that's a big deal. However, there's a couple of things here. I've been thinking over the last couple of days, what are we confident that we know, or at least what am I confident that I think I know? Because as we've said time and time again, nobody has the facts except for the women and Deshaun.
That's it. Facts.
Right? All of the facts.
Right.
But what do we know? Well, or what do I think I know, and what am I completely not sure of? What I think I know is that Deshaun Watson had sexual encounters with many of these women. And if it was consensual,
I think that's more what you think, not
that's
what
I'm
you
saying.
know.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
what I think I know.
I think that's almost a contradiction. What I think I know.
Okay, fair enough. What I think.
Look, if we're
no,
going
you're
to
right. You're right. You're right.
I'm
fair
parsing
point.
words, but
no, you're right. Fair point. What I think is that Deshaun Watson had sex with many of these women. All right, and if it was consensual, which it probably was with at least most of them, if not all, then I don't care about those, because if it's consensual sex or consensual whatever, who cares? That's consenting adults. It's not illegal. He could still be suspended for that behavior. I don't think he should be, but he could be. What I also think is there were some girls he tried to maybe do something with and they weren't interested. I think there were some girls he probably tried to do something with and maybe they did it because they felt some pressure, maybe not even obviously from him, but they were like, well, he's Deshaun Watson. I don't know. I just think you can't put every single incident into one basket. I think there's a lot of variety here. But the bottom line for me, guys, is Deshaun Watson is not 100% innocent here. How guilty is he? What actual things has he committed any, not necessarily crimes, but has he committed any, has he done anything here that could lose him in court? That I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
But he's done enough that he has to settle, I think, and there's no way he can completely claim that he's completely innocent. It feels that way to me.
What's your take?
I think it's somewhere in between of him being guilty and him not being guilty. It was something that you said a couple of weeks ago, even last week, where you said that maybe he doesn't realize that he's done it or the effect that he's had on these women.
Well, what he did, he didn't see as offensive.
Exactly, and I think that's probably where we're at. Because some of them stories do, I can see how it could happen with the whole setup with, I think my thought is he probably went in there, scheduled a massage, got naked, and once if any man that gets touched on by a woman, you're going to be aroused by it. That's 100% facts. Like I said, I've had a ton of massages in my life while playing, and every time I've pretty much been aroused by a woman, but obviously I had shorts on, so that stopped all of that. I think that his penis hit their hand, and how they reacted to it was how he kind of figured out what was going to take place. Some of them laughed it off maybe, and some probably was offended by it. And I think to him, he's like, oh, I could just say that it was an accident, stuff like that.
We talked about this off air, and I wanted to get your thought on this, and we can all weigh in. Should there just be a general rule in the massage therapy industry that you need to wear shorts? I
think you should.
I think with spandex shorts, the masseuse can still get to the areas, the glutes, and everything.
How do you massage your growing? Have you ever had your growing massaged?
Yes.
How do they do that with
spandex shorts?
So the spandex shorts roll.
I'm making him explain.
Okay, I'm about to say the spandex shorts.
Please get on stand and ask how this goes.
Listen,
that's a fair question, G. Bush, but I think that
you can do that.
It's two types. So it's two types of shorts. Like I said,
Okay.
in San Fran we use hot tub shorts, so they're a little bit looser.
Gotcha.
And then you got spandex shorts like compressions.
Yeah.
The compressions roll up.
Yeah.
Can you get all the way down Can you roll them all the way up? Probably not. But the tub shorts is so loose that they can get down and get in there through. Not under the shorts, but through it. So going through it. So yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like to go into a massage completely naked.
That's not
I think
really
that's
appropriate.
I don't
Unless that's been discussed beforehand
Yeah.
and the woman's okay, clearly. But like just asking a woman in a massage when you're Deshaun Watson, can I be naked? It inherently puts some pressure on the woman.
Yeah,
I
I just think the optics of it. I don't know.
It's like I say, the growing thing. I hear you, but like I said, I think you can get to it because there's been plenty of times I got massages and my groin area got hit,
And he wasn't naked.
and I was not naked. So
Yeah.
you don't necessarily have to be 100% naked. I think like that's just your personal preference. If you want to be naked and don't want nothing in the way, then you should ask the woman, is that okay? If that's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
If she's professional, she'll probably say absolutely, that's fine. That doesn't bother me. But if you're a woman and you know that the guy's going to be naked, be prepared for his penis to hit your hand.
So the reason I wasn't saying that as if that was my excuse for him not having no drawers on. You gotta have some drawers on, dog. Even in my house, we used to have a 2-layer rule. 2 layers at all the time.
2 layers.
Do not be walking around in your boxers.
I walk around in my boxer briefs every day.
No,
when I'm home.
2-layer rule. What you
I
gonna
never
do?
wear anything.
That's too much information.
You on the couches? And
We
stuff?
don't want to know that.
That's my family.
2-layer rule.
I'm about to say definitely.
Well, what's-
Unless when I'm going to bed, then that's
Yeah,
different.
what if
but
someone rings
walking
the doorbell
around
and
the
they say,
house,
"Can
I
speak
put
to
on
the-"
shorts.
See,
Yeah.
that's why you got to be prepared. Yeah, I'm just setting it up. Now, anyway.
I don't open the door for anybody.
So let me give you
No,
this.
look, what you do in your
Yeah.
house is your
Hey,
business.
that's your thing.
right.
You pay the mortgage over there, right?
Damn right I do.
Hey, so let's get to this. I think there's one little small thing we're missing here. The 66, right?
Yeah.
People moving around a little bit on that 66 number, but there's a small number. Can I get that first graphic? That first graphic. Now let me show you this. Now, if it's 66, and help me with the math here. So 66 massages,
Yep.
24 filed the suit. So that's
42.
42, right? Out of those,
did not.
Out of those 42, give me the next clip. Out of that 42, we doing basic math. Look at the bottom stat. At least 15 issued statements of support for Watson. I think that what you have to realize is you take that 42, take that 15 away, and now you have people who either said nothing really happened, I don't have an issue with it. And on top of that, 15 have come out and said, not only did I not have a problem with it, I'm going to put my name, my reputation, my business, and I'm going to put it on the line and say, I'm going to give him a statement of support. And it said at least 15. So my thing is this. When you got people, and this is why I always say, it's not that hard, people. It's not that difficult. We don't got to keep doing this. They're going to have a civil case, right? They're going to have a civil trial. Because if you want to talk about 24, he's sitting there telling you, well, what about 15? I got 15 people.
that
to
don't
Yeah,
say-
but it
matter.
only takes one.
It doesn't matter.
But hold on.
Just because he may not have done anything they didn't like doesn't mean he didn't do it to the other
so,
people.
But what you got to understand is
Yeah.
you can't take the negative allegations, make it fact.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, no.
You can't cherry pick.
You
So
can't-
fair.
the
you can't
24,
pick it.
if the 24 are telling the truth, then the 15, and actually that
right.
number, I
but
was
even if
confused
both
that-
numbers are true, even if both
Yeah.
people are telling the truth,
they're not.
that's still
they're
not good
ex-
for Deshaun.
They're not mutually exclusive. There
have-
could be 24
Right.
women that are
They
telling
could
the
all
truth.
be telling the truth.
But you have to weigh that, right? But so what I'm saying is, in this case, for me, it could be totally plausible 15 people said nothing happened. It could be plausible 24 said this did happen. Guess how you find out? You go to a trial.
Can't.
What you mean I can't go
He
to a
can.
trial?
No, you
It's
can't.
not good for him in his career.
Why what you think is worse? For my career, accepting something that I said I didn't do?
But we know realistically
I can't
he's
say
not
that.
completely
I
innocent.
can't say that.
Well, I do think, to G. Bush's point,
Yeah.
I do think that at this point,
Yeah.
Busby is winning the PR battle between
Yeah,
the
sure.
attorneys.
Yeah,
he
sure.
is schooling Rusty Hardin. I talked about this 2 weeks ago. I thought it was going to be death by a million cuts, and that's exactly what this has been. The 23rd, a few days. First the HBO special, then the 23rd, then the 24th.
Yeah, he definitely-
now the 66.
He definitely trying to get a
Also,
settlement.
I want to make one thing clear. The Times article said at least 15 women.
At least.
But in March of 21, Rusty Hardin released a statement that 18 women signed in where they vouched for Deshaun Watson. And also, this point should be clarified too. Not only did they vouch for Deshaun Watson and what happened during their experiences, but they also made attacks on the 24 women that were alleged, at the time 22 women that were alleging improprieties, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Well,
like,
how do they
why
don't
would
know
you
that?
speak?
But
I don't know.
How would they even know them? Do they even know each other?
To me, it sort of
I
took
mean-
away from the power of that statement. If these 18 women want to come forward and say,
Yeah.
look,
He
in
didn't do
our
anything.
experience, he was a complete gentleman, nothing happened, that's one thing. But what kind of caught my eyebrows about that whole statement was that some were making disparaging claims about the women who were alleging Watson did
In
commit some
in
sort of
my
sexual
mind,
impropriety.
the most I could believe in Watson's favor is that he didn't realize he was doing something inappropriate or that he was pressuring these women. That's the best I can believe
Right,
from
so-
his behalf.
and that's what
And
Tyvus
there's
mentioned.
no way I can believe that 24 women have completely made
It's just
this up.
to
That's
me
just hard to believe.
To me,
But when you talk about the once in a lifetime check. What do you mean you can't believe it? If
Well-
people will say a lot of different things
Gee.
for a check.
for sure, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
That is a fact.
I'm not
I
saying
hear you.
24 did.
It's hard to believe that 24 women have completely made up everything.
I won't see.
I can't believe that Watson, in some, many, maybe all of these cases, did not realize the pressure he was putting on the women or that he was doing anything wrong. I think that's possible. I think that's possible.
To me, the biggest eyebrow raising about all of it is the fact that it was 66 different masseuses. Like if you're a star, like if you're a player, everybody gets 1, 2, maybe 3 that you just work with all for the rest of your life, like your whole career. You work with these.
Masseuses?
Masseuses.
Okay, so this is where-
it's the
I'm-
fact
this
to
is
me
where
that
I'm
he
glad
got
you're into
that many, and it's just
So-
like, why you need that
How many
many?
did you have in your career?
Well, there's a whole lot of questioning here that I want to undergo. And here's why. It's great that you're here. You
Yeah.
played in the NFL.
Yes.
You understand this whole world.
Yes.
Do teams provide massages?
Yes.
Is it? Do the players have to use the masseuses that they provide?
No.
Are some of these massages that are taking place with masseuses that you hire, are they ever happening on the at the team facility?
If you ask, it can.
They
be.
will.
They
Okay,
will. They
so
will
so
do
far,
that. Yes.
not uncommon, not
Yeah.
uncommon, not
Yes.
uncommon.
They will do that.
66 women in 17 months is a different massage therapist every 10 days. Is that common?
Having a massage every 10 days is not.
Common.
It's very common.
Yeah.
But having 66 different ones, that's the one that's kind of like.
That's
What's
one
the
that I-
most you can remember? Most different people you used in
So-
one season that you can remember?
Well, in San Fran, they bring in like 8 to 10 women to do.
But that's all at the facility.
Yeah, it's all at the facility,
And
and,
that's
you
for-
can
that-
and you can rotate through those people.
Right, right.
But
And you're not paying for those. The team.
no, yeah, the team pays,
the
but it's
massage
some
therapist.
teams do make you pay for it, but for San Fran in particular, they pay for it.
I'm wondering, would teams cover the massages if a player came to them and said, I've got my own person, nothing against your staff, I've tried them all, they're not doing it for me, will you pick up the bill for my massages?
If you're Deshaun Watson, they're picking up
some-
the bill.
Well, I wonder.
I
There
would
probably
assume.
are different rules for different players.
I would imagine that they would, because I mean, you still getting the massage, especially if you're doing it at their facility.
Right.
Like they can.
But you
obviously
never
see.
experienced
But I've never
that.
personally experienced.
You never
that.
asked for
So
the
he
team.
paid. I mean, he paid all these women. So
Yes,
It-
that's the assumption.
So there had to be sexual encounters. He even admitted there were sexual encounters.
Yes.
Rusty Harden said there were, and yes, I'm sure there were some that were 100% legit.
He claims they were all consensual.
Yes. Every sexual one, every
Right.
time he has sex
But let's
with
say
them, that was
he's
consensual.
but let's say he's naked. Let's say he's naked.
Yes.
And he's just moving his penis around. That's hitting the girl's hand, and then she backs away. And it's like, I don't wanna do that.
That's
already
That's
going
your
too far.
That's
social
our-
cue that
see,
you
and that's the-
crossed the line.
Yes, you've already
right
crossed the
there,
line there.
Right there is where the problem.
And so if
lands,
that
right.
happened, he may think, okay, I did that. She said, no, I stopped. But he's already crossed the line in that situation.
But
if that happened.
at the same time, as a masseuse, you should kind of expect if somebody's naked and you rubbing them, like it's probably
you ever-
if you
well-
getting in their area like that, it's probably going to happen.
yeah,
Facts.
but
Like let's not.
not- yeah,
You,
I
if you
mean-
massaging a man's groin and he's fully erected, it's 90% of the time his penis is gonna hit your hand. 100%.
Remember I told you I had something. I was like, he said save it. My thing is this. I'm super paranoid, right? I'm paranoid about a lot of stuff, right? I'm paranoid about who I hire, how many times I see them, all the above letter D. Because if it's me and I'm an athlete, the last thing I need somebody to be like is, hey, I massaged him for 5 years, and we were great until he did this. Now, that person has 5 years of a relationship with you. That person knows you. That person knows your in and out. They know your schedule. They know your routine.
Yeah.
If it's me, I can understand why a rich professional guy says, nah, we're gonna do one-offs. You're not getting that close to me.
Yeah.
Give me a new massage therapist every time.
Yeah, but Tyvus is telling you that's unusual.
Well, here's the thing.
Guys don't do this.
Well, I mean, you got to understand.
Yeah.
This is a quarterback, right? We've seen people. Now, what's to stop, say, for instance, what's to stop somebody from saying, all right, this is a great thing. Could you then, as a massage therapist, say, I massage Deshaun Watson, I massage Brett Favre, could you use those names in what you're doing to sell your
Oh,
product?
you
Absolutely.
do. No,
Of course,
listen, not can you, they
You do, yeah.
See? This is
You
what I'm
definitely
saying.
do.
And that's why there could be some inherent pressure on the women, and maybe they went along even though they might not have
And
wanted
think about it. Guess what? What if
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson says, no, you ain't going to use my name in that?
Well, if you give them one massage, they're already going to use it.
Yeah.
Well, could that explain why the team has them doing an NDA?
No, I think they did the NDA because it would stop them. If he's completely naked, I don't think they want them going around telling what they saw, like all that. Like,
Is that because I thought that too.
I would think that would be the only reason.
I'm trying to figure out a reason why the Texans would provide an NDA.
Because he's going to get naked, and they know he's going to get naked. So you're not about to go out in the streets and tell everybody about
Or write a book,
business.
right?
But wait, guys.
And players over the last, I think, decade, maybe longer, have become increasingly paranoid. I've heard stories where athletes that are dating women, actually, before they go out on dates, ask them to sign NDAs.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep their private life private, and they don't want anybody monetizing what they can say about Derek Jeter behind closed doors. I can understand that, but when I heard it, I was like, that doesn't seem completely right to me.
I think in a way we should go. I almost think like the debates about what he did or didn't do, which we've been doing, all of us, is almost pointless now. Because most of us really care, when we're honest about it, is the only thing we really care about is he going to play or is he not going to play? That's the reality. That's what most people care about. We could pretend we're on a higher
I've heard
perch.
from a lot of Browns fans, Bull, that say if in their mind there becomes a day where they think the evidence is overwhelming that he crossed these lines.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of Browns fans that are not just interested in is he going to play.
I don't
definitely-
believe them.
no,
I think that 99% of them are liars, and they will watch the games if he plays.
I think they'll watch it, but I don't think they will support. I tell you what, yesterday after this news came out, if you got on Twitter, it was a bunch of Browns people like, listen,
You know what?
it's
If
just
you allowed
terrible.
to,
I'm done.
Now, look, we need to be clear. Twitter is not a representation of real life. One other thing, I think we have to point this out. It's not illegal to use 66 different massage therapists in 17 months.
Nope.
It's not illegal to use 250 different massage therapists in 17 months. So I didn't see anything in the New York
It's not illegal to
Times
have sex
article.
with a consenting adult.
It's not.
Or pay for it. Well,
What I'm looking for is Deshaun Watson forcing someone to have sexual relations with him that did not want those relations to happen.
That's right.
Yep, that's what we're looking for.
That is where, to me, where the line is crossed. So 66, no. 24, no. If any of the 24 can provably convince me that Deshaun Watson had sexual encounters with them against their will, that is a line that I feel a lot of Browns fans would have a problem with that.
But even if you did find that out, which I don't think we will, but
I don't know how we will.
If we do, let's say we did, and the league suspended him for a year.
Yeah.
If he came back the year after, would you not root for the Browns? What would you do?
That is the slippery slope that we're on, and that's the trickiest question of all. I don't know is my answer because there's too many hypotheticals.
Well, I think 99%
I'll
of
tell
fans
you
would
this,
still root
Bull,
for the team.
if they eventually win a Super Bowl with Deshaun Watson, and I have crossed the threshold of being convinced that he forced women to have sexual relations that they were not consenting to, that Super Bowl to me would feel lessened. Well, it would feel tainted to me.
I just say this, and I just always have to, give you this disclaimer. You do realize that the highest level of our food chain is now athletes. We put athletes here.
Celebrities, musicians, I think are right there too.
No. I just think athletes, because here's what we're gonna say. You can do underneath that. You could be a celebrity. You could be a politician. You could be a clergyman. You do what you want.
But G, I don't feel like the politician you're referring to.
I agree with that.
I think there are a lot of people, and they're different people, have a problem with that politician.
Now, 74 million.
I actually
so
agree.
let me just give you this.
Terrible thing.
Let me give you a quote. This ain't from Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I don't even wait. The reality star told NBC host Billy Bush, suggesting he might start kissing the actress he was about to meet for the first time. It will be no big deal. Since you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. You can grab them and you can do anything.
Yeah.
Now hold on. Stop point. Full stop. That man had launch codes. Athletes here, I just read you that statement. That was before.
Like I said, I agree
the
with
election.
you.
But there are.
It's too many times that athletes, you gotta be perfect.
But the answer is not to excuse Watson if he did it.
No.
It's to condemn the other guy.
So what was your point in saying that the athletes are the top of the food chain?
My point is, for all the Browns fans that sit up there, I'm not going to support the team. Nobody ran and left the country. We didn't go to Canada. We didn't get on.
But there were a lot of people who didn't support the president.
But here's the thing.
True.
Yeah.
These could be this could be mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
You can stay in the country and say, I don't agree with what our top of our leadership is doing. And you could be a Browns fan and say, I don't really agree with the situation with Deshaun Watson.
I think Pittsburgh did.
You can do two things.
Look, this country has a long history of its presidents doing things that we would hope wouldn't set an example for others to do. Going all the way, John F. Kennedy was one of the most revered presidents. Bill Clinton was wildly popular. Yet, I don't think. I think
nobody to this level that we're talking about.
I think the mistake that we're making here is trying to say that these people are our moral compasses. They have a job to do, and it goes back to the thing we talked about last week. Our athletes' role models. I just believe that. Because they're the top of the food chain, it doesn't excuse them for behavior. And look, I do think this is a personal choice for all fans.
It is.
If they're okay with the wins and they can overlook behavior that they thought maybe crossed the line but wasn't criminal, that's up to them.
You can root for a team and a player without liking everything about their player.
Well, I've done that before.
There's
we all
bad guys on every team.
Yeah, and you
whatever.
rooted for the Cubs with Chapman.
The bottom line is most of the people that say they won't root for the Browns are liars.
Yes.
Or maybe they believe it now, but it won't actually be true when it
If the
happens.
Browns do well, everybody.
99.9%.
Yeah, I mean,
the biggest question I seen yesterday was somebody asked, would you buy your daughter a Deshaun Watson jersey? And I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, if she wanted it, because to me, I don't think what he did. I'm a father, so it's up to me to raise my daughter correctly.
Yeah,
like,
you
it's
make
up to
your
me
That's on you.
to teach her about the life and stuff like that. If that's who she wanted to, if she wanted to support him and she likes him because of what he does on the field, like that's totally different.
We have to turn this to quickly to the Houston Texans. How do they play in all of this for you guys? Like, did reading yesterday in the Times that they provided a location for some of these massages, even though they didn't link any of those massages specifically to sexual impropriety, and the fact that there was an NDA involved, does that change the way you view the Texans?
No, I don't care about Texans. Did not.
The Times used the word enabled. Was
Deshaun
that
Watson.
too strong?
Yes, I think it was. Based on the information I know, based on the article, I don't think there's proof in that article that they enabled him.
Right. And Deshaun's a grown-ass man.
I think
He's got
it's possible that they did, but I don't think there's proof that they did.
Okay.
But I don't think, as you said, he's a grown man. He was young, but he was a grown man.
Yeah.
It's his responsibility if he did something wrong, not the Texans.
I don't think it's the Texans' fault. I mean, like I said, they provided a place for their star quarterback to get a massage. And the NDAs, to me, if the way I interpret it correctly and the way I think is correct, I think the reason that they did the NDAs was to say that you don't want them discussing his personal business outside in the streets. Yeah. So I think they did the right move by doing that, because you don't want.
I wonder if that's common.
Yeah, you don't want
NDAs. Have you ever heard of that before for a massage?
No, not no massage.
Right. G. Bush, how did the Texans play in this to you?
I mean, I mean, they just set it up. Like, at the end of the day, man, people is responsible for their own behavior. I done said it for 100 times. People be thinking like, oh, you caping, you throwing the cape on for Deshaun Watson. No, bro, from Jump Street, I'm like, look, anytime, I'm telling you, anytime you have sex with somebody, you have to be cognizant of who you doing that with, because you are giving them power. That you giving, like, that's sharing a part of your life with that person, right? You can't come to me and tell me, oh, you did this or you did that. I don't even know you. I ain't never been in a room alone with you, and I'm not going to. And if I was Deshaun Watson, and people need to start putting some parameters in place, because everybody's continuously acting naive. Let's not be naive. If I'm going in and I'm having a high-priced athlete there, I'm sure as heck got backup. I got somebody outside the door waiting. If I get uncomfortable, I'm going to knock on the door, I'm going to leave, right? And if you Deshaun Watson, guess what? You might want to start having people in the room too. Hey, I'm protecting myself.
If he's getting happy endings, you don't want anybody else in
well,
there.
that's the thing. That's the thing.
I think those days are over.
I guarantees those days are finished.
He's got a girlfrintend too. I don't think
so,
that's gonna happen.
all I can say is the Texans, they did what they were supposed to do. They thought they was helping him do is get him in his body right. And at the end of the day, when you got that much money, you got that $240 million, right? Guess what? People know you got 240. See, this ain't like other places. You can walk down the street and a businessman can be wearing a gray T-shirt and loafers, and you don't know he got $1 billion. But they know you.
Yeah.
You throw the football, and they know it.
He ain't got the 240 yet. It's coming.
No,
and he didn't sign that contract.
But it was
till
very public.
But most of these lawsuits started before. I mean, he was still making plenty
He
of
still
money.
had 150 to
Yeah,
play.
he wasn't. He didn't have
what's
the
the difference
240.
between
No, I know,
150
but
and
just
240?
Just we're parsing words.
90 million.
You're right.
To be clear.
Want to be factually
Right.
correct. I'm definitely in line with you guys. I think that the Texans don't deserve credit when these kind of things happen and things go well.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they don't deserve blame. I haven't heard anything yet that has made me say, whoa, the Texans were complicit here. I need to know, what I have to see or hear is that the Texans heard from some of these women and did nothing, heard from these women and didn't properly investigate the claims.
Right.
I haven't been told yet that the Texans were informed by any of these women or legal authorities or lawyers that this stuff was going on and they looked the other way. If I were to hear that, then that would change my
sure
tune. But
would.
right now, I don't see that the Texans are on the hook for any of this. If there was any impropriety done, that's on Deshaun. Because he's making his decisions as a man, and he has to be the guy that pays the price for them. Let's talk NIL deals. This is totally hypothetical. It's a Wednesday in June, and there's not a lot going on. So at 11:33, we finally get to this.
Let's transition to NIL.
There's a hard turn. I'm pretty sure this was McNugget's idea, right? Did you come up with
Me
this?
and Steve Becker, yeah.
Okay,
combo here.
I love the idea because we're trying to create topics here.
Yeah.
So the NIL we know is changing lives in college football today.
Yes.
What if it was a thing in the year 2000? So let's ask from 2000 to present, which Buckeyes in that 21-year span would have benefited most from an NIL deal?
This is will be fun.
Are you putting up each individual graphics here, Mike? I can't
As you
remember.
call them out, yeah, I'll
Who
follow
do you want to start? You want Bull to start?
Bull sent me like 12, so let's do Bull last.
Do me last. Go ahead.
I'm going to cover all my bases. All right, let's go with Tyvus because
Let's start with
he's
Tyvus.
one of the players that won a championship in that era.
Well, I
for
mean,
Ohio State.
outside of myself.
Yeah, of course. Outside of yourself.
No, my first one would be Troy Smith. Troy Smith would probably he would have made a lot of money due to the fact that he was beloved by everybody. Great guy, won the Heisman, took him to the Natty. I mean, that guy right there, outside of him being the quarterback for the Ohio State and him being a Cleveland kid, an Ohio native, I mean, he would have made bank for sure. He would have cleaned up and made a ton of money. My next person would be Braxton Miller. Braxton Miller was a guy he seemed to be a celebrity since high school for some odd reason. You know, he was very electric on that field.
Was he a Dayton kid? He was, right?
Yes, Dayton kid. It's another Ohio kid, so he would have definitely made bank. I mean, he was arguably the most athletic quarterback to ever play at Ohio State. And those 5 jerseys, before they was getting paid, those 5 jerseys was going off the rack. So I think for sure he would have made a nice, pretty penny.
Yeah. G. Bush, you want to go? We'll leave.
I got my whole list here.
We'll leave list of 12 for last.
Let me chime y'all in.
Yeah.
Everyone sent me 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think both sent 7. In all honesty.
No, 10. I sent 2 lists of 5. One for all the years and one specifically
This is
for
why we
Simon
love
Field.
Bull, though. There's no stone unturned with Bull. That's why we love
I
Bull.
was not told there was a limit here.
Bull, I will say this.
Yeah.
McNuggets claims that he has a name that none of us selected.
Already guessed
And
it.
considering you gave 100 names.
10.
I'm surprised that it wasn't. There was no cross-reference there.
All right, G.
G, what do you have?
I'm trying to think who I had. Throw me my
All
graphic
right,
up here.
G said Zeke. Let's pull Zeke up here. Let's look around
This
at
was
29.
you felt strongly about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I got medication. I'll give you.
He's still fired up about the
Oh, here we go.
The
There we talk
Watson
about
conversation.
No,
Zeke.
Elliott. Let me tell you why. Zeke Elliott would have got a lot of money because he was marketable, right? He had a dance celebration. When you got a celebration, when he was the first one doing this right here.
I
right?
hate that. My
He was
least
first-
favorite thing that football. Why? It just irritates me to no end. I feel like it's selfish.
I'm eating.
It's like
I'm eating
why,
right now.
Why not feed the
right now
hyena?
he ain't even the best back on his team. Tony Pollard.
I'm not talking about right now. We're talking about his career.
Yeah, we talking about his
He's
college.
great.
And now when he was
Got
in
that
college,
nice six-pack, too.
And by the way, they let him get some stuff off that nobody else got off. Listen, there's rules and regulations
Yeah.
because I used to try to be a fat boy that
midriff.
looked cool. He got the midriff cut off with
Yep.
the back flap in the back. Nobody gets that off ever. He got that off. He had the number 15, a DB position. I'm like, that's a quarterback number. He made 15 look cool. And on top of that, he had crazy looking hair and he had a LeBron shooting sleeve on. He had all the
I had a
exterior
LeBron
stuff.
shooting sleeve
Yeah,
on.
you did. You tried to be out there in a cat suit. Like Tyvus to have all. I was like, that cat woman, he got all black.
Come on, man.
Come on, bro.
You got to know how to wear it.
Yeah.
All black. All black
Should I
accessories.
tell him his next one, or
Yeah,
do you think
what's
he's
my next one?
remembered it?
Nah,
Yeah, tell him, Jay.
Nope. Tell me my next
Who
one.
is his next one?
What's my next one? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you just gave me JT Barrett.
That's my.
That's it. You just gave me J. I know I picked JT Barrett.
I
know.
picked JT Barrett.
He picked JT Barrett.
That's my grandson, Joe Thomas Barrett.
I picked for the outside of him. I picked Maurice Claret. Obviously, was a dude. But then my second dude was Chase Young.
That's a great pick.
Chase Young.
He did pick Chase Young, but he also sent me JT Barrett.
Yeah. So I guess you're gonna make me have Barrett. Bull took all the
No,
graphics.
he's not going to make you
There
have
it is.
Barrett. You
There it
said
is.
Barrett.
There it is.
Bull
There you
took
go.
all-
Bull took all the graphics. There's no more slides.
Got them
left.
all. I got them all.
Now this guy, listen, now if you're a defensive end, he had all the intangibles, everything you need to be a defensive end that's going to get you some money out there. He had a single digit. The number 2 is super dope. He came out there. He had the wrist braces on. And when you play college football, NCAA college football, you automatically put your edge rusher or any athlete with dreads. He had the gold dreads. And he had a shield, a Nike shield. He would have been he was the upgrade to Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa was just out there taped.
You're all about the uniform and the accessories.
Oh,
aren't you?
God.
Listen,
Yeah.
Desean did say if you look good,
Yeah,
you
no,
play
that's
Very
true.
good.
No, that's very
Don't
true.
be out here looking dry and
You gotta
dusty.
look. I'm telling you.
Where you,
Dry and
you got that old Intangi. You got that Westerville South gear on, bro. Take that off. That is high school gear. Come on in here and get you some of these.
Aren't you
these
wearing a high
shirts.
school shirt right
Yeah,
now?
But this is Nike. We don't play that. We don't play that. We don't.
They got the deal.
Yeah, listen, we got a deal, bro. We got all kind of athletes out there with an F. Athletes. And we got stats. They give out shields up there, bro. People around here wearing Champion and Rydell. We don't wear Rydell. Rydell.
Can't beat the classics.
Oh, man.
Do you have any other names?
Bull got him.
Is that all?
Go ahead,
No,
Jay.
I'll just give mine real
Yeah.
quick. This is going back to the the 2000. I'm going to go to Maurice Claret. So that's my overall guy because I think we've forgotten how good this guy was.
Yeah.
And he was a true freshman. He was doing this just months after he graduated from high school and led them to a national championship. Unfortunately, his time at Ohio State was just too brief, but 1,200 yards, 18 total touchdowns, 16 touchdowns. He ran with a mission. And I think that it's just a shame. Not just his college career being too brief, but that he never took a snap.
And by the way, he's
Never
filling
had
in
a
for me
carry in the
next week.
NFL.
1 week
for
from
real?
today.
Yes. Yeah. And by the way, That'll be the only time in Bull's life that he can say his backup is Maurice Clarett.
I'm gonna tell you what, and Maurice don't want to tell you this though. Maurice Clarett was when I went to OU, and I was there during the 2000s. There's not one dude who when you came down to school and you pulled up at a party, this man wasn't even at parties, but his buzz was at an all-time high.
Yeah.
He had unicorns on his team. Unicorns. Do you know what unicorns are? Fictitious people. You're like, gosh, who was that? All tens.
Yeah.
Lord. He was winning, and he had a number one. He had the 13 at running back. You can't do nothing with that.
Yeah. Bull, you want to give us
Well,
your 7 or 10? Or?
Obviously, you
5.
mentioned Clarett already, who was on my
How
list.
much time do we got?
I think over 1 year, Clarett would have made more than any of these guys.
Yeah.
In that,
That's
for
why
a
he was
1
my
year
pick.
stretch. And then you guys have mentioned Zeke, who was on my list of people that you played with on the championship year. Now, when we go with the 2000 through now, my other guys, first of all, you got the 2 linebackers, A.J. Hawk and Laurinaitis, right?
They're going to get NIL money? Like big
Oh,
NIL?
yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
No, they were
First of all,
marketable for sure.
Yes. First of all, his dad was a professional wrestler for
Yeah, that
crying
was-
out
that's
loud.
true.
These two guys could have been tag teaming. They would have been like doing like dopey commercials where they're singing for a car dealership. That is definitely happening. Okay, you got a couple of white linebackers. They're going to get some money. Don't worry about it. Beanie Wells. How do we forget Beanie Wells, man?
Yeah.
Beanie was an. You talk about Maurice Clarett. This guy was a great back for more than 1 year. It wasn't Maurice's fault that he only played 1 year.
Right.
But Beanie Wells, I feel like people forget about him.
Yep.
This guy was an amazing back for the Buckeyes. And finally, Ted Ginn Jr., who was a high draft pick, right? And, he didn't put up big numbers as a wide receiver, but was a great return man in the NFL and had a long, long career. And he was so fast. He could have been doing, like, tire commercials. Anything where you need a fast guy, get Ted Ginn Jr.
He's the
right?
fastest dude I've ever seen in my life.
He was exactly. Scored that touchdown in the national championship game.
And then that was
team
it.
got killed after that, but
got hurt.
whatever.
Sprained his ankle.
All right, now let's talk about some of the other guys from your team. First of all, Michael Thomas.
Well, explain this. So this now we've narrowed it
This
down
is
to
just for the
national
national championship, your national championship
in
team,
2015.
not the Dustin Fox national championship team. Michael Thomas, obviously, it's so funny because Michael Thomas has kind of fallen off the radar the last 2 years because he's been hurt.
He'll be back.
I don't know what's been going on with him. Is he happy now?
He'll be back this season.
He's going to be back? You
He's
sure?
back this
Okay, all
season.
right, good. But this guy obviously was a stud in college. He's a stud in the NFL until recent injuries.
I worry now because he doesn't have Drew throwing him the ball anymore.
Yeah, well,
We don't know what he is without Drew.
I still think Jameis has got another life in him.
He got his eyes fixed. He got that LASIK surgery.
Jameis can still play, I
He
think.
throw 40
I think.
touchdowns,
We'll
40
see.
picks though.
All right, Braxton Miller. How do we forget Braxton Miller?
I said, bro.
Oh, you said Braxton
No, he
Miller. Sorry.
hasn't.
We'll move on from that. Who else? All right, now we got to get to this guy. This guy, don't put him up yet. This guy, let's see if you can guess who it is. He would get this big NIL money because let's face it, part of American culture is what? Racism, right? So it's unfortunate, but it's part of American culture.
Joey
so
Bosa.
you get the My Pillow guy. You got the Hobby Lobby. You got Chick-fil-A. It's
Papa
Bosa.
John's.
Although I think Joey's worse than Nick, right? Is it Joey? Who did I say? Joey or Nick? I can't even remember which Bosa I said.
Joey. 'Cause
Joey.
Nick wasn't there.
All right. And then, of course, who else do we have? We got one more guy.
We got one more.
Show his
Drum roll,
picture.
please.
Show his picture. Look at this guy. Show his picture here.
Yeah.
Look at this face. You got to show his picture. Right now.
They let you get that Jordan number 2.
What?
No,
they
show
get-
his
It all went. TP
Put him on a tight
23.
shot right now, guys.
Oh, that's right.
In studio. Here we need Tyvis right now.
It's
Look
coming.
at that.
Hello.
Trying to point to his face.
look.
I pointed at him like 15 times. It's getting uncomfortable. Look at that kisser.
Boom, boom.
That's a good-looking
guys.
man right
Hi,
here.
hi,
He's
America.
getting all that NIL.
Hi,
Hey,
hi,
Hey, and let me tell you something. And I'm sorry about this. I'm so sorry. We forgot one person. Dang it, we forgot one person.
Who did we forget? Mikey has him.
This dude would have been NIL overnight. So the one-hit wonder where it just be like, this guy blew
Oh,
up.
I've got him on my list.
Cardell Jones.
That's how he's on my 215 list, 2015
Cardell
list.
Jones would have got $3 million in NIL
And
money.
in 3 games.
Off
Three
of-
games.
3 games.
minute.
Yeah, but
Sign him up.
here's the reason I didn't say Cardell is because he came on the scene late and then he disappeared off the scene
But
quickly.
here's the thing. Here's why Cardale was on my list of 2015. I had 3 guys in 2015.
Yeah.
I think Cardale would have made the most, and here's why.
He would have, and it's
He
crazy.
came in the Wisconsin. He played the Big Ten championship.
Yep.
Yep.
and they dropped 59 on Wisconsin. He was
59,
12 of 17, guys, for 250. Everything he threw was a deep bomb for a touchdown.
Game plan was to keep the ball deep and outside.
And it worked. So Cardale, it's all about the big games.
Right, that's
so
true.
after Wisconsin, Cardale's got Madden kind of numbers.
Yeah.
So now they're going to go against Alabama and Oregon.
That's
Against
crazy.
Alabama, he threw for 243 yards and a touchdown, completed more than 50% of his passes. Against Nick Saban in the win against Alabama, and then in the championship game, 16 of 23 for 242 and a touchdown. So for my money in that 2015 season, it's all about the playoffs. And he would have had one endorsement
that
deal
offseason.
after another.
And then by October, they would all been gone.
Now,
Yeah, look, he was you talk about one-hit wonders.
He'd have been all been gone.
Now you know Cardale, right?
Yeah.
You know
I'm
Cardale.
gonna get him to come on the show.
Tell him, Cardale,
Yes.
shout out to
Yes.
we gotta have
What,
you
is
on.
he still in the NFL?
No, he was doing the CFL, but it didn't work out. So now he's doing NIL for the Buckeyes. Actually,
Do you believe that after he had that run, for me, I thought after that run he should have just left, and I thought he would have.
I did too.
everybody thought that. But
When
who
is
y'all-
your
wait a
stock
minute.
ever going to be higher?
Who do y'all think Kyrie Irving? Yeah, you think he gonna play 3 games and just?
Yeah.
Wow,
I thought
He would have been drafted
He would have been
higher.
drafted.
I
in the
don't.
second
I don't
round.
know that.
You don't think so?
I don't know that.
Well, we have the
Does-
benefit of the results now
Yeah,
for this
that's true.
discussion.
Do-
We
I
know
don't-
that we know his stock went down, but I think in terms of that big deal, he would have got a huge deal. I think he would have been a high draft pick.
I do too.
Because his body of work was unblemished.
His arm was crazy.
was.
He
nice.
finished the Michigan game. Then he beat Wisconsin. Then he beat Alabama. Then he beat Oregon.
3
and
games.
He looked spectacular doing it.
He should have left.
Do-
you know,
do you
when he
think-
come on, y'all make sure y'all ask
never
him that
know.
question.
No,
I'm
because
asking-
he's
He
probably a
regret it?
touchy
You
subject.
think
I don't think he did because he said he wanted to graduate. So.
Okay,
and he
that's what I was
graduated.
gonna
He got
ask you.
he got his degree.
I was
so-
going to ask you, do you think if he had to do it over again, would he say?
Yeah,
or
and
no?
you know the crazy thing is we was roommates throughout this whole thing, and
Were you really?
Wow.
yeah, y'all didn't
mention
know
him.
that.
I didn't even
No,
know
you
that.
didn't
How did you
Oh,
not mention him
yeah,
then?
that was like the biggest
So
deal.
what were these conversations
so
like?
That's so let me tell the world.
take us
Let me
inside.
tell the world. So Cardale has to. So obviously we played the championship game, and I think the deadline to declare was like a week later or something like that. So it was like a quick turnover time for him, and we never discussed it. Like we roommates, we sitting in the apartment. He goes, yeah, I'm about to hold this press conference. I'm about to go announce to the world what I'm about to do. I never even asked. My only concern is that rent was due on the 1st, and he needed to make sure that his half of the money was gonna be there. That's all I really cared
didn't
about.
ask him?
Nah.
Wow, that's
But
crazy.
when
Did you have a hunch
To
what he
me,
was gonna do?
honestly, I was sitting there watching the conference, and I'm sitting there yelling at the TV, "Leave, bro, leave!" But he stayed, and he wanted to graduate, and he got his degree, so it was worth it.
You know, it's funny, when he started his career, he infamously had a comment, something about,
I didn't come here
I
to
didn't
play
come here to
school.
play school.
That's what he said.
I thought he was out after that.
yeah, I did too.
And during that time period, how was it with you got Braxton Miller?
Yes.
You had JT Barrett and
Yep.
you had Cardale.
Did
When
Urban
they all
handle that
came
well?
back, how did y'all? Who was it? Different people that was liking different people, or how was that whole time being at Ohio State when you got 3 dudes that put up those type of numbers? How was
Well,
y'all feeling?
when those 3 was there, so it wasn't when Cardale put out that tweet, the quarterbacks was Braxton, Kenny Guyton, and Cardale. And at that time, Braxton was Braxton. You know, Braxton, like I said, he's been that celebrity. He's been that high-profile guy, the big quarterback that you want. Kenny Guyton has come in when Braxton's went injured and won games. So Kenny was like the man. He was the second man. If Braxton went down, nobody would bat an eye. Kenny would go in and get us. Cardale was just an afterthought at that moment. He was just doing scout team. So once all this went down, he was already in the doghouse to begin with, so he's just even more in the doghouse.
Why, because of the comment?
Yeah, just because of the comments. After that, you know, him and Urban, they patched up their relationship because they weren't seeing eye to eye. Urban don't see eye to eye with a lot of freshmen that come in unless you just that guy off the top. So they patched their relationship up. Cardale ended up becoming really good, and he works his way out the doghouse, and that's how he ended up becoming that guy. Obviously, Braxton got hurt and JT got hurt, so he was still 3rd string, but he came
It
in
really
and did
speaks to
that.
the quality of
But
the system at Ohio
How
State.
do you think, looking back, do you think Urban handled the next year the right way, or did he make some mistakes?
What you talking about when Cardale became the starter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think he did the right thing.
Okay.
I think Urban handled it the best he could do it. I mean, And the looks of it, it was going to be Cardale's last year. JT had multiple years, and you got to go with the hot hand right now. And I think although JT has the mobile ability, Cardale had the bigger arm, and you had these wide receivers who, you had Michael, you had Braxton, you had Jalen, you had all these receivers who wanted the ball. And I think if you put JT in there, you will run the ball more than you will pass the ball. With Cardale, you could spread the ball over and sling it to everybody. So I think he was trying to make everybody happy. The offense just kind of didn't work the same. For some odd reason, that offense ran when JT was at quarterback. So he had to make that switch after, I think, a Maryland game. I think Cardale threw like 2 or 3 picks. They benched him, and that was the end.
Bull mentioned this before the show, and it really is remarkable. When you think about the level of success that multiple different quarterbacks have had at Ohio State over the last 20 years. I mean, you can even go back. Joe Germain put up sick numbers.
A lot of guys,
But really, from 2000
more
on,
recently,
it was almost plug and play. Everybody they put in there put up these video game type numbers and were superstars, not just good quarterbacks. They were usually the best quarterback in the Big Ten and in the Heisman conversation. Yet for some reason, none of them were able to transfer that success to the NFL. Why?
I just think it's a mixture of, it's a combination of things. I think, one, it does depend on the system that you go into and how are you being utilized. I would say, for example, let me give an example. Josh Allen for the Bills. When Josh Allen first came into the league, I think they had a game plan for Josh Allen to do things a certain way. Josh Allen didn't fit that plan. So what happened was, instead of them trying to say, you know what, Josh Allen is broken, he's not going to work, let's just find somebody else, they switched their game plan to make it fit Josh Allen.
Which is what smart coaches
exactly. And I think a lot of the times that plays a part into it. Also, you got to think about the weapons. Like Justin Fields, for example. Justin Fields is lights out, a great quarterback. I mean, what he did with Chicago last year with no offensive line and no great wide receiver weapons, and still was able to win games and put up good stats. Like that's his franchise is doing him a disservice.
Running back either.
Yeah, Montgomery's okay.
It's all right.
But for what he's doing is –
is he going to break this string?
I think he
they
can.
Haven't improved the talent that much.
I think he can. Dwayne could have. I think Dwayne started off, RIP to Dwayne. I think Dwayne started off with the right mentality. I think his mindset was, I want to be the franchise guy. I'm putting in all this extra work. And I think when he got it, I think he got complacent. Really? I think when he got it, he got complacent and he stopped doing the things that made him great. Right. And I think he regressed because of that. But when he went to Pittsburgh, he started picking that back up again. So it's unfortunate that we won't get to see it, but I think he would have lit it back up.
He certainly was in the right organization to maximize a player's abilities. Because I think Pittsburgh has a certain player that they look for at every position, but they're also smart enough to understand that if a guy brings a different skill set to the table, like Dwayne could have, that they maybe adapt what they do to make sure he maximizes his ability.
Justin Fields is not only trying to break the streak of Ohio State quarterbacks that have not had great success, he's also trying to break the streak of Chicago Bears quarterbacks. When's the last time they had a quarterback?
I mean,
even their Super Bowl champion,
McMahon's numbers were
not a very good quarterback.
Rex Grossman wasn't good.
No, and he took him to
he went to the Super Bowl.
I might have to just start saying this. It don't matter what college it's hard enough finding any quarterback.
That's a fact.
No, but you would think, I mean, Ohio State has produced so many great players at other positions. You'd think at least one great quarterback.
We're going to do the top 5, but I quickly want to float this theory out there. Is it possible that Ohio State has so much talent across the board? They get the best linemen, they get the best receivers, they get the best running backs, that I'm not taking anything away from their individual success, but I've had guys tell me that came through Southern Miss, do you know the numbers I could have put up if I had that kind of talent around me? Is there something to that?
I mean, it is. Obviously, you're getting the best recruits and the best players at Ohio State. So, yeah, it could be something to that. But I still think
it's just easier.
Because you're being protected. You got guys that can win their one-on-one coverages. So it is easier. But you still got to stand in there and you still got to deliver that ball.
You gotta do it.
And everybody can't do that.
There is one Ohio State quarterback who's a great NFL player.
Terrell Pryor?
Joe Burrow.
Oh, yeah. You got a point there.
Yeah, he snuck that one in.
Would he have been this great if he had stayed at Ohio State? Would he have even been given the chance?
He got lost in the shuffle because there's so much talent.
I always tell people at Ohio State is the gift and the curse, man. Because they're not going to spot shadow you. Like, if you come in and just kill, they're like, okay, we'll play you for a little bit. But they got competition every day. You might be the dude and then come back the next year and be like, well, you're just not. You're a guy.
Yeah, but that's how the NFL is.
Yeah, you a
if
guy.
anything, that's preparing you better for the NFL.
Right.
You have to fight every single day.
I mean, the
for your
last
position.
scholarship guy on your roster is starting for what, 3/4 of the other schools?
Oh yeah,
Maybe more?
easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Right?
All right, McNuggets, let's do the top 5. You've got a string going here. I think 3
been
of the
on
last
fire
4
here.
days have been fire.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can make it 4 out of 5 today.
Yeah, well, I read the Roundstone. Tyvis, hit up your boy JT. Let's see if we get him to call in. As always, the Ultimate 5 is sponsored by Roundstone Insurance. Roundstone offers a better alternative for affordable quality health care. For more than a decade, Roundstone Insurance has been saving small and mid-sized businesses money, an average of 20%. 20%. Contact us today to learn how you can get great healthcare benefits that your employees will love and save money as well.
Hold on, what percentage are they saving?
20%.
Wow.
Insanity.
And so when you think that inflation is almost 10%, that's like a 30% saving.
Yep.
At least.
Roundstone.
There you go.
Roundstone.
All right.
Roundstone.
We're big fans.
All right.
So today's list
Yeah, what is it?
is the top 5 college football traditions that I've seen in person. We're gonna do the ones I haven't seen another day.
I like this.
But these are the ones I have
All
seen.
right, I'm
All
already
right.
racing through my mind
All right,
some of my
yeah.
favorites.
So we're all gonna have a little different. I haven't seen some of the great ones, but
Right.
these are the ones I've seen. I want to know what you guys see,
Okay.
because I have another list, maybe tomorrow or soon, of the ones I need to see. But these
Oh,
are the
I-
ones
By the way,
seen
I've
in
only
person.
been to one Division I college football game in my
Because you're
life.
from New York. You didn't even know college football was a sport until
No.
you came to Cleveland.
I had
That's
no idea.
crazy.
I lived there for 16 years, and I was.
Nobody cares.
I would walk into any bar on a Saturday afternoon, and they'd have baseball going, or whatever. They would.
Rightly so.
They don't understand
fall?
that college football is a thing.
I don't know. It's probably changed now. But
Not much.
Now that there's more. When I was a kid, when there was no cable.
Because there's no
I mean,
powerhouse there. Even Boston College, who used to be
Nobody
relevant,
cares about Boston
it's
College in
horrible
New York.
now.
I almost put Rutgers losing as one of my favorite traditions. That's how sad
Hey,
college
watch
football
it now.
is.
My son's
Hey, I
on
grew up
that-
in New Jersey.
a
I love
coach at
Rutgers, but
Rutgers.
they were terrible for so long.
All right. Okay.
Mike.
All right, so the real
Top
list,
5
though.
traditions
Number 5 that I have
that
seen:
you have seen. Okay.
the calling of the dogs.
Definitely a
At
good one.
Athens.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
definitely a good one. All right. But see, this is going to be a weird list because there's so many of the great ones that you probably haven't seen. And we're
I
going
don't
to kill
really
you for
like
that.
Yeah, and I'm going to see those. Don't worry. We're going to do a list of the ones I want to see. But these are of the ones
that
I've
was
seen.
okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of cool.
it's cool for SEC school. Now, listen, if you talk about SEC schools, that don't even need to be on the list. Like, because I'm waiting to see which one he's
Yeah.
on to.
There's 2 more SEC schools on this
I was
list.
going to say it's probably SEC heavy, knowing your background. Okay, what's number 4?
Ralphie's Run at Colorado. The Buffalo coming
I
out.
like
Seeing
that.
that in person,
I like
it is
that.
That looks
massive.
pretty cool.
Way
I
bigger
like
than
that.
I would
I
have
mean,
imagined.
you know.
Shout out to Colorado. Ain't been good since Bobby purified them boys. What happened to them?
Yeah, I know.
What happened? What
That's a
happened
good
to
question.
your program? Colorado was a power. Nebraska versus Colorado. What is it? Big 12 back then?
Big Eight.
Big 8.
Yeah.
Big 8
God,
kicked
that's
in.
old school.
What happened, man?
I will say, there are some pretty crazy videos of them. Is Colorado the one that pulled the stagecoach out?
No, it's Oklahoma.
That's Oklahoma State. Yep.
Yeah, there's some nutty videos with that. Where
That is on my list of ones I really want to see. I've
okay.
not seen an
All
Oklahoma
right,
game in
there
person.
we go. I like the Buffalo.
I haven't seen Ralphie, so I don't know.
It's really
seen
cool.
it on TV.
It's
It
a
looks
live
cool on
Buffalo.
TV.
It's phenomenal in person.
All
Yeah,
right.
A&M played at Colorado this
What do you got
year,
at number 3?
Virginia Tech. Tyvis knows this. The Enter Sandman Entrance seismic activity happens at Lane Stadium, and standing there shooting it as they run out, and you can feel the ground shake.
Yeah.
It's unmatched.
It is
pretty
nice.
cool.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
That's cool. It's not a goosebump moment, but it's a cool tradition.
Yeah, it's pretty
My
nice.
brother, they got a chance to play at Virginia Tech. I think Marcus Vick was there at the time.
Ooh,
And
that's a good name.
And they was, listen, he was supposed to be, you were supposed to be dope. He turned out to be a pocket passer. No, we want Vic. So they used to jingle these keys. Now, they got rid of a lot of that noise-making stuff in college. They don't let you do the cowbells in
Right.
Mississippi State no more.
I know.
They don't let you do none of that now. So some of the traditions are gone, but Virginia Tech is quite loud.
Number 2.
We got JT on, so we'll be on in 1 sec with us. Number 2, to make sure I'm not biased, it is that good, but the 12th man at A&M is phenomenal.
I'll give you that.
106,000 sawing off back and forth before the fourth quarter. It's really cool.
sounds
I was
boring.
anti A&M before I got to College Station.
Yeah.
They're a cult. They know
He
they're a
said
cult.
it
They accept the
sounds
fact they're a cult,
boring.
and I'm all for it.
Shout out to
What is it that they do exactly? I don't even know.
Yeah, explain what they do at the end of the third quarter as they're going
At
to the
the
fourth
end of the
quarter,
third
this
quarter,
happens.
the entire stadium stands up and they saw off Texas's horns in a back and forth motion. And when you see it from the field level, going side to side as you look up, it's a massive stadium. Kyle Field's
I mean,
unbelievable.
even though I'm not a big
It's
college
really cool.
football guy, I don't even know that tradition, so I'm considering it lame. Good.
So let me ask you
Like, I
this.
know the others.
What does the A&M stand for? Agriculture and
Agriculture,
marketing or something?
military, right?
All I
Yeah.
know is
Yeah,
I-
agriculture.
And so is it a military school?
Yes.
Texas A&M used to be Texas Western, right?
A long time ago.
Which was the first
black.
college basketball team that had 5 black starters.
Yes,
Glory,
that's true.
what you
I don't
watch,
think that was
Glory
A&M.
Road?
I don't
Glory
think that's
Road,
A&M.
yeah.
Wait, no, McNuggets saying no. That was not.
I don't think that's
previously
them.
Texas. A&M.
No?
I know.
Texas.
Oh, that's Texas.
Texas Tech?
No. It's Texas.
Western.
I thought Texas Western became Texas A&M, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got JT. Let's not spend too
Okay,
much
well,
time.
sorry,
on
go
one.
ahead.
Let's go to number one.
Good.
Death Valley, neck. When the LSU band plays neck.
Oh,
That's
God.
it right there.
That's lame.
It's
Yeah.
done.
Ah,
horrible list.
you done
I'm
been-
stringing
it's
those.
a, it's a
You've never
bunch.
been to Ohio State,
You-
correct?
I haven't been to Ohio State. No, that,
You missed
there's
a
a bunch
lot.
I haven't been to. There was too many to get to that
All right, let's
combine into a list.
You
We'll
missed
do
a
the
lot.
5 that I need to
Very
see. But
good.
better than that, we have JT Barrett.
Yeah, that
like,
list
the
sucks.
JT Barrett.
That list sucked. Your string is over. You got to do better tomorrow.
I'll be back.
JT Barrett on the Ultimate
There he
Cleveland
is.
Sports Show. Yeah, everybody. JT in the house. JT, your favorite
What's
Buckeye
happening?
tradition was?
Team up north game.
So that's a tradition.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a
sure.
tradition.
Yeah.
When you write M's, like if you're writing something or you're sending an email or something that week, do you put the red X like the fans do, or you think that's stupid?
No, that's. I don't think that's stupid. I think it might be a much for me. But no.
Plus, it's not like the letter M is rarely used. Like,
I know,
you
it's so. I don't understand why people do that. I
Wait a
mean,
minute. What about Carmen, Ohio? I loved the singing of it's Carmen, Ohio, right? At the end of
Yeah.
after the wins, the teams come together and they lock arms facing the student section.
I've done
and
that. We've done that. quite often.
110,000 people are singing Carmen, Ohio. That used to give me goosebumps.
You know what's so funny about the band at Ohio State is that in high school, the football players are putting the band members in lockers, and then in college, they're celebrating them on the field.
Because
What
they're the
happened
best
there?
damn band in the
Yeah,
land.
That's
true.
That script Ohio is.
It is pretty sweet.
That's dope.
nice.
It is
Well,
pretty sweet.
No, that's what it is. It's nice.
So, first of all, welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. For those that don't, Tyvus kind of filled us in a little while ago, but for those that don't know, tell us where you are. We knew that you were with the CFL team, but what's going on? Where are you right now?
Yeah, right now, currently Dallas, but just rehabbing. I had an injury, trying to go up there playing the CFL, but I was just training, had an injury, so rehabbing from that and just coming back from that and kind of figuring out that second part of life after ball, but that's kind of where I'm at right now.
JT, you tore your Achilles, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Now, JT and I look like we're in about the same shape, right? That's pretty fair to say.
Very similar.
You know?
Yeah, very similar.
No, but I can feel his pain, not from playing football, but I tore my Achilles too. Probably a little easier for you to rehab since you're in 1,000 times better shape than me. But I know how brutal an injury it is. It's scary when you, and I know you've done it twice. Tyvus was telling us about it. And, man, that is just brutal. That's a hard rehab, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, I guess I've had my fair share of injuries playing a game of football. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's part of it. It's interesting because as the days go on, I mean, things get better. So you keep attacking it each and every day, trying to progress a little bit. And, you know, you look up in 6 months, 12 months, whatever it is. So it gets better with time like anything.
You know, Joe, can I call you Joe? Anyway,
I never knew that.
What's going on?
I've been calling him that all this like
can't.
Joe. So Joe, listen.
You've never called me Joe.
I have called you Joe your entire since I learned your name was Joe. I've called you Joe. But anyways, that's not either here nor there. You know, at Ohio State, you are a great leader for the team. You know, I really admired your stuff, and you really got us fired up and win games. And you had this mentality about you that no matter what happened, whether you was hurt, I remember the Penn State game, you sprained your MCL and you continued to stay out there. Where did you develop this leadership from? Like, where did it come from? and this never quit mentality?
I don't know. Leadership, where did it come from? I don't know. I've been very fortunate to be around some great coaches, mentors in my own life that have impacted me in a way that I think that shaped and molded the leadership that I have, right? But can't say it's necessarily came from one place. Parents also, too, being hardworking individuals. But I don't know. I feel like all of that. But then at the end of the day, when it comes to like never give up mentality, I think it's, tape. It's never as bad as what you think. It's never as good as what you think, right?
Yeah.
And so in, the game of football, you be in, situations where it's like, man, this is awful, right? Like, this is tough. But it also could be like, well, this is not the worst we've been in, or we could come out of this. So, and we've been in situations like that before. So it's like, I don't know, I guess more so it's a mindset and perspective when it comes to those things. But
JT, going back to your high school days, right? You come from the great state of Texas. Now, Texas in high school, it's known for football, right? Ohio's a great state as well. Did you have a hard decision going to Ohio State? And what teams in Texas did you grow up like watching or grow up as rooting for?
Yeah, it was Ohio. Relax. First of all, I'm gonna talk flaws. Don't give me like that. But it was Ohio State really wasn't. I feel like on the radar. I feel like I don't know. Growing up watching college football, it didn't really come on. I guess our network of TV teams or whatever. So with that, we didn't get a lot of Ohio State. I watched Oklahoma, Texas, Baylor when RG3 was there for that that short little bit, LSU and things like that. And so Ohio State just kind of came in. Coach Meyer recruited David Nelson from my high school when he was at Florida. So that relationship kind of structured that. But then leaving or growing up watching teams, I would say LSU and Texas. Vince Young, when he was at Texas, he was the man, So times like that, growing up in Texas was pretty cool. So,
JT, what's your greatest memory from your days at Ohio State?
Ooh, sheesh, put me on the spot. Greatest memory?
Because you had a lot of them, I know. But what's your snapshot moment from your career?
I felt like, at first you put me on the spot, but then, I don't know. Winning the national championship was it. We were, the fact that, I was a part of that, we were able to do that. That was one of the things that I went to Ohio State for, was being able to win a national championship. That was something that I want to be a part of. So, that accomplishment right there, you could say you was best for a year, and we all know how extremely tough that is. So, I don't know too much top that.
By the way, speaking of Texas, Texas Western was UTEP. It's now been clarified.
Okay.
UTEP.
Yeah, you figured that out.
But now,
There you go.
correct me if I'm wrong. In the NFL, you spent at least time with Russell Wilson, Big Ben, and Drew Brees. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep.
What were those experiences like? What did you learn from those guys?
All of them professionals, obviously, highly skilled at what they do. All have a different approach as well. So you was able to see how you was able to, be really good at the game of football, but, attacking in different ways. All of them have different skill sets too, which help them be great. But more so, I would say the preparation and how you prepare to go win a football game as a starting quarterback of an organization. I think everybody has their own approach on, what works for them. But seeing the different ways to go about it. Drew is a true grinder. Excellent at everything he did at life, it seemed like. And Russell Wilson, his energy that he had throughout the building, it was so positive. Times you were talking about that never give up mentality. You felt it on him. It was like an aura that was on him walking around. And then Big Ben, just the presence he had, knowing that he had, people talk about that it factor. They didn't even call him by his name. They just said 7 and in the building, you know what I'm saying? So it was just kind of that type of respect. So all of them had their different things. So I was able to grab something from each and every one of them, just more so the preparation of the game. So it was cool.
JT, talk about the difficulties of being a quarterback in the NFL. You know, obviously everybody doesn't have the glamorous story. Like you're like myself, who bounced around a couple of times. You know, tell everybody what that's like bouncing around and not being able to control, you know, what your coaches think or the perception that they might have of you.
I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know. It's tough, no doubt. Playing in the NFL is tough, regardless of position. But at the end of the day, I think it is a challenging, you know, when you're moving team to team, learning the offense, and as a quarterback, understand. I mean, the same thing on defense too. But each team runs the same type of plays, but call it something different, right? So you're learning a different language each time you get moved to a different team. So that's crazy. Its own challenges within itself. But I don't know. It's just not the glitz and glamour I think some people get to see, especially when you're, you know, the quarterback 2 and 3, when you're, you know, working on to, you know, really fight for a job to be on the 53, not even relative to being a starter, right? So with that, it has its own challenges. But I mean, it's a life we chose, man. It's glorious ups and downs, but it is what it is. It's the life.
You know, JT.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You know, JT. I'm just sitting here watching you, right, and how you communicate and how you break things down. You talked about life after football, right? You know, Ty talked to Tyvus all the time about you know that shock of being like, okay, this is all finished, or I'm going to transition to something else. Have you thought about going into coaching? Because I don't know, I just see it, the way you communicate the game, the way you just as a leader, as a quarterback, and you talked about just learning different languages or whatever. And just being able to do that. Have you ever thought about? Because I don't know. It's just me. I just look at him like, that's a dude that is a coordinator somewhere. That's a dude that can you know really talk the game. Have you thought about moving into that area or something like that?
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. Definitely thought of it. Yeah, it's interesting because I don't know what that initially looks like. I mean, I think oftentimes people get into coaching like their dads were into it, or kind of that generational lineage with it, whatever. But my dad, he worked in the Army, he was an electrician, so it's definitely different from that standpoint. But as far as communicating, I mean, in life after football, I think about, I don't know, like at the end of the day, with business, you're working with people, right? And with working with people, you have to be able to communicate effectively. And so I have tried to do a good job of that, and whether it be leading people in the game of football, like in the past, or now when you talk about different things in life after football, I think you communicating with people and interacting with people and trying to do that effectively to get the most out of people, I think is what's ideal. So that's in the game of football. As far as coaching or in some other realm of business, I think it helps to communicate well.
Yeah, it's big in everything you do. JT, I know he was on defense, but give us some Tyvus stories. What kind of teammate was he? Was he a good teammate? What was going on with this cat?
Really?
I mean, what was going on with Tyvus? What's not going on with my guy? At the end of the day, Tyvus's energy, like it, he always has something to say, good, bad, or indifferent. My guy's gonna say what's on his mind. So being at practice, him talking a mess across the field, I'm not worried about you, Tyvus. I know your job. I know what you're doing.
Won't you throw that dig route so I can go there and pick it up? Because you knew what I was on. I was sitting there, please just run there, throw that dig. You know what? Joe Burrow actually made that mistake. They ran their concept, and I jumped the dig, and JT was the first one. You can't throw that, bro. Tyvus know that already.
He's sitting on it.
Hey, young and dumb.
JT, does Ohio State get any credit for the Joe Burrow NFL success?
I mean, I don't know if it matters or not. I think it's part of his experience, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I think he definitely learned some things along the way, whether it be at Ohio State or LSU, to help him what he's doing now. So I think it's hard not to give a little credit to that. But I don't know.
Who is the best dressed Buckeye teammate? Best dressed
Buckeye teammate? Yeah. That's a solid one. Ooh, that is a solid one. I'm gonna see what Tyvus has to say this one. Who did you say?
I wasn't about to say nothing. Who was you about to say? Because it wasn't you.
Wow.
That's hard.
Bro, relax on the dog. I mean,
You was
dang,
fresh.
I was not about to say myself. I mean, I was not. I mean, I came to Woody together, but I was gonna say Josh Perry.
That's a great answer, actually. Josh is very.
He came. He's
He's
to the
still
Woody
like
fresh.
that, actually. Yeah, he nice.
Right.
That boy
I
clean.
mean, we was 6 o'clock in the morning, and they, getting ready for them winter workouts, and my guy was just like, "Boy, you got jeans on?" You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well,
he came fresh.
who is you going? You going to a pizza eating contest? Who are you picking to represent your Buckeyes team in the pizza eating contest?
Pizza eating contest.
Maybe an offensive lineman. Although those hot dog eating champions are always skinny, so I don't know.
Nah, we would have to get one of slobs on that duty.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I feel like we didn't have like people that. I feel like I'm trying to fight to keep on weight. He wasn't trying to keep it off. I'm trying to think who. Right? I don't even know who it would be. I'm gonna say Pat because he's my.
That's a great answer because that's who I would have said.
He gonna go all in.
Yeah, Pat gonna go hard.
Now, Tyvus, you can hop in on this. Now, JT, when I played, right, one of the things I hated was working out. I guess that's counterproductive to playing Division I football. But what is the hardest workout you've done?
St. Valentine's Day or the Harley Davidson, easily.
So what's that?
What are those?
What's that?
It's something that every Buckeye player knows.
They must be hard because JT was like,
Whoa.
whoa.
For the layman out there, can you explain to the people what entails in this workout
Hell.
and why the regular person could not go through it?
Man, so it's
well, yeah, you got to prepare for that type of workout. Right? You just can't wake up on a
really
Friday
mental.
and go do that.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
mental.
I mean, mental is definitely part of it, but all right. So it's a lower body leg day that is meant to blow you out to the extreme, right? So you're talking about leg press to big squat. I mean, running on the treadmill for a burnout
Pushing
session
the
to
sleds.
file jumps, sleds, wall sits. I mean, the whole 9, right? And at the end of and on top of that, you have a coach yelling at you, like really almost coming at your whole being as a person.
Yeah,
but not as a, and as a football, in order to get you better, you know what I'm saying? Not really tear you down, but at the end of the day, he is yelling. And so it does make things more difficult.
You got a finisher after everything. You got a finisher after every workout.
And that's the thing, right? So there was 2 groups. There was a 6 a.m. and an 8 a.m. You wanted that 6 a.m. to get him out the way, right? Because if you just saw the aftermath walking in at 8, you was like, oh, this ain't going to be good.
I'm telling you. I swear.
Sign me up for the 6.
You come in at 8 and see them people walking out there at 6.
How often did you do these workouts?
It's every year for Valentine's Day, and then the Harley Davidson, I think, is a week after.
Oh, my God.
So it's every year.
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks.
Or yeah, maybe 2 weeks.
Valentine's Day workout. I mean, what's the point of that?
St.
They don't have
Valentine's
sex
Day
on that day
massacre.
or something? I don't know.
Massive.
I don't know what it is, but it's like I said, every Buckeye, if you go through, they know exactly what it is.
workout.
You can throw up off leg exercise.
Oh, yes,
Hey,
you
JT,
absolutely
we got to
can
ask
throw up.
JT
I've
about
done it.
this. So,
Sick, man.
So we've had Leroy Horde as a regular on our show, former Browns running back. He's a Michigan guy. And he has been talking trash about Michigan's win because it's their first time in, 35 years that they finally won. And you, of course, went 4-0 against Michigan. So what do you think of Michigan fans or even alums, former players, talking trash after their one win? And how bad will Ohio State kick their ass, you think, this year?
I mean, let's just put it in perspective, guys. Let's talk about it. One, this was after they decided not to play us the year before.
That's very true.
And a lot of those guys, just want to bring it up, those I think were those COVID 6-year guys.
Yes, it's 27.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, with this being said, I mean, it was at home. They had a little momentum, you know what I'm saying, going into it, yada, yada. We did lose at the end of the day, so, you know what I'm saying, that is what it is. But bringing in perspective, those things, not saying you hang your hat on them, but I think they should have been highlighted.
You make great points.
It's a great point.
Bull mentioned that you were 4-0 against Michigan, but you're the first quarterback ever to go 4-0 against Michigan.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean to you? And how big is that in your legacy? Because you know that game is the Super Bowl, man. That's everything to Buckeye fans.
I mean, yeah, it is a big deal. I don't know. It wasn't. I think it was. This might sound just arrogant, but it was like we were supposed to win.
Thank you.
Like,
Yeah.
in times, yeah, thanks. So it's just like
They were not good,
was,
JT. They were
like,
never
being
good.
There,
they were never good.
being there, it was. I remember Coach Meyer was just like, "Don't lose."
It was simple.
Don't lose.
That's it.
It was simple. Like
And so-
they were a very hyped team. Like they get a lot of hype every year, but they never amount to the hype. So it's like
Notre Dame gets more hype, though, I feel like.
I don't know.
I mean,
No,
at the end
ever
of the
since
day-
Jim got there, they get hyped top 5, and I'll be
that's
like,
true.
where?
I mean,
Yeah.
It's tough. I think it's. I mean, you know, rivalry games. At the end of the day, I mean, you remember in 2013, I didn't even play. That was the year I redshirted, the 42-43 game, and
Oh, that was
we
my
were
year.
ranked top in the country. Yeah, and I mean, that was a slugfest, right? So
It was.
rivalry games, you get that, and I mean, down to the fourth quarter every time a rivalry game is. I mean, you saw Alabama Auburn this past year, so it's like that's what you get when you get a rivalry game. But at the end of the day, I don't know. It was just like it. You know, it was a lot of emotion at both sides. I mean, both sides, either one could win that game. But the way it was expressed to us, it was don't lose, and we tried to do our best not to do that. So, with that, that's how I think about it.
JT, favorite football movie of all time?
Favorite football movie? I'm trying to think. I'm gonna go Friday Night Lights.
Great
Which
answer.
took place in Texas, of course.
Yeah.
I read the book,
That's
by
a
the way. Has anybody
biased
read that
answer.
book?
The same guy wrote that. That wrote Money.
Bissinger.
Yeah.
It's
Buzz,
a great
was
book.
It Buzz Bissinger or
Yeah.
something like that?
That's such a biased answer, though, JT.
What are you talking about, Booby Miles?
It's why
Do you know him?
Yeah, he
I
was.
don't know Booby personally, but come on.
He was
Well, I
the
brought him up. I thought maybe
He was the central figure in the movie.
Yeah.
Definitely
That-
said it like
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
if
it
you're
was-
gonna do somebody, you're gonna do somebody with Nikes on your feet.
But listen, listen, JT, I'm a huge any given Sunday guy. Like that's my
Ooh,
favorite
I
football.
forgot
The
about
teams
him.
look
I
so
forgot about
phony,
him.
though.
It's so
Like,
dark.
But Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J
Al
and Bill
Pacino
Bellamy.
was good.
Yeah,
Bing.
like great.
It
Come
just
on,
didn't-
man.
It wasn't realistic. The way
It
the
was
game footage
realistic.
shot.
Lawrence
It was.
Taylor.
It was.
Lawrence Taylor. You left out Lawrence Taylor.
Jim Brown was the coach.
He was one of the coaches. That's true.
Hey, before we let you go,
That's
Mikey McNuggets is our producer. He's a Texas A&M guy. He was there for a couple of years before he came here, working in the media. He wants to ask a question. Go ahead, McNuggets.
I actually have two. They're actually two
questions.
real questions.
All right.
JT, first off, quarterback to quarterback, Ohio State QB to OhioTate QB. What do you think about C.J. Stroud?
I think he is really good. He was last year. I think a lot of people were. I don't even know. Coming off of Justin Fields, he was being asked a lot of him. But with that, each and every week, he was able to develop. I think everybody was nervous after the Oregon game, but kind of like in my year, we lost to Virginia Tech, and everybody looked at me crazy and was like, "Oh, what's this going to be like?" So it's kind of the same type of deal with C.J. Stroud. Once he got his feet underneath him, he got the rolling. But I think he's really good, accurate quarterback. Throws a really good ball. So he's only going to get better.
And secondly, we talked about Tyvis reading the dig. I got to know, what was Tyvis's weakness then? When they called the certain play, what did you know Tyvis was going to get lost?
He's got an
Hey,
answer ready.
Tyvus knows weakness. His eyes in the wrong spot. That's what it is.
You're peeking.
Listen,
You got undisciplined eyes,
You
dog?
can't make the play if you're not looking at the quarterback. So like, you got to know where the ball is going.
Read your keys, son.
Uh-huh. That's funny.
Well, listen, JT, we can't thank you enough for coming on. We've been talking about having you on for a while. We know there was a communication or a little wire crossed on our part or whatever the last time, but we're thrilled to have you on. I know that this is an interesting time for you as you make this transition. We wish you the best of luck and we know you're going to have all the success in the world because you can't be that successful as a high-level Division I quarterback without transferring that success to the real world. So I know you're going to slay it. Best of luck to you. And we're looking forward to having you back on during the football season if we can do that.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, JT Barrett, the great JT Barrett, former Ohio State quarterback. You know, when you think about the 4-0 against Michigan, like
he was first to do that.
The first to do it.
That is
and he'll always be able to say,
Yeah,
I was the one that I was the first member of that club.
Hey guys, hold on. We got some breaking news. We actually really have breaking news. Steve, let's play the stinger. Yeah, we got breaking news. According to Mary Kay Cabot, the Browns are excusing Baker Mayfield from mandatory minicamp next week in a mutual decision.
Yeah, we kind of figured that was coming. In fact, the Didi said that they'll probably just let them know, let him know that you're excused.
Is that appropriate breaking news?
It is breaking news.
No, listen,
you should have known that was coming. Once San Francisco did that with Jimmy Garoppolo, it was obviously the right move.
We knew it was coming, but it's still worthy of
breaking news.
You still got to report it.
Yeah, I mean, it is
still have to
breaking news.
report it.
Next time, you don't scare me like that.
You thought you was going to get traded.
You know what I thought was coming? We got suspension news.
Suspension news. I will run out there, grab the fifth mic, and tell you guys on the set. For just regular breaking news, I'll do it from behind the wall.
That's like that. You did that. That regular breaking news is like your wife calling you on the phone, being like, "Babe, we got to talk. I'll talk to you when I get home." No, you didn't tell me now.
Right now.
We're not about to do that. We're not about to do that. I got high blood pressure as it is. My neck hurt. You can't tell me. And she'd be like, "I was just going to say we don't got no more potatoes at home. Can we go to the grocery store?" Get up out of here with that. No, I'm not going.
False alarm.
False alarm, bro.
No, but I mean, you got to.
I thought he was going to say Baker. When you said Baker, I thought you were about to say he got traded.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
Two of them.
Yeah, come on.
Took us down that road.
That was
Listen, I will run out there and seriously grab the fifth mic for groundbreaking news. For just regular breaking news, I'll cut in with the stinger and just tell you guys what's going on.
Groundbreaking.
Here's the thing. He worked hard to get that breaking news stinger made.
I did.
He worked hard. And so he's like,
I did.
Stevie, can we get the breaking news?
Cue that up. We have to have like a sound or two if we're going to run that. There's got to be some noise.
Or some kind of music or something.
Okay, well, hold on. True story. Steve, let's play it again. There is music, but we had to lower all the levels because you guys wouldn't stop talking over any of the stingers.
I don't hear it.
You guys don't hear that?
No.
Play it again. We'll be quiet.
Steve?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nothing.
We'll boost it.
Yeah,
to the moon.
Boost it.
To the moon.
It's not even there, bro.
No, it is. If you listen really closely, it is there.
Closely.
It is.
We were dead silent.
Hey, I was listening like
crickets.
It's monochrome and you guys have the wrong earpiece in. That's the issue.
No, put crickets under it.
Man, back in the day, man, remember how people used to wear dog tags? Man, so people would get to my brother. I don't know why. He was just young. He like 16, and like he saw this girl that liked him, right? He was gonna come in, and he was just like, he told everybody, hey, give me my dog tag. Give me our dog tags. Let me put things on real quick. We was like, bro, them dog tags ain't gonna do nothing for you with that woman. Why you thought that was it? He was gonna use this, man. He was gonna use that breaking news.
He made it.
He was gonna get that off.
He was gonna use it. All right, we're gonna do a little business here. We're gonna take a quick timeout. On the other side, Chris Rose, is he lined up yet?
12:35. So we got a few minutes for NBA Finals and Chris Rose.
Cleveland native and just, you know him in the media. He's the MLB Network for a very long time. He's currently with the NFL Network. Chris Rose is going to join us on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We'll take a quick timeout. We're back after this. Hi, my name is Jay Crawford. I'm a lifelong Cleveland sports fan. My favorite all-time Cleveland sports moment, you're not going to believe this, it was Rajay Davis's home run in Game 7 that tied the score.
My favorite Cleveland sports moment would have to be the Kyrie Irving 2016 shot. It's the only time that I've ever cried over any sporting event.
And my ultimate Cleveland memory is when the Cavs won the championship and the day of the parade. It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life.
We face challenges every day, some bigger than others, and we never know what's around the corner.
Through the highs and the lows, whatever we face it together. Each morning on Go, we are here with the facts, because what impacts you impacts all of us.
And understanding those facts helps us to make informed decisions for our families, our communities, and our future.
We are here for you every step of the way. Go, weekday mornings, 4:30 to 7 a.m.
What matters most to me is family. Sometimes you don't realize how important it is until you're away from them.
What matters most to Jay? His family. He is a big family man. What matters most to me? My family, my safety, your safety.
I think the thing that most impresses me about Betsy is her versatility. Give her any assignment that involves going in front of a television camera, and she's going to knock it out of the park.
What's new with Betsy and Jay? Weekdays at 5 on 3.
Hey, it's Adam the Bull for the ultimate Cleveland sports show, and I'll tell you what I think of when I think of Cleveland sports. It's that everybody loves it. I've been to other parts of the country, and there's people that love sports and people that don't care. But in Cleveland, everybody cares even a little bit from every walk of life, and that's what makes this city special. Whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, it doesn't matter. The people of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio love their teams like nowhere else in the country.
We ain't about to be doing that.
All right, we're back on the Ultimate Business Sports Show. Good bet, bad bet before we go to Chris?
Yep, we got about 5 minutes, so we'll do good bet, bad bet, a little NBA Finals talk, and then as soon as Chris is on, we'll get ready. So let's
Nobody
get
was
the
perfect
standings.
yesterday, were they?
Let me see.
No one was perfect.
No one was perfect.
We had two 2-1s and a 1-2. Here's the overall standings. G. Bush still in the lead. Mike Polk with the producer's picks also went 2-1, so Polk staying ahead of time. So let's get to today's bets.
It's been hot, though.
Number one,
I need to go 3.
Guardians, a 1.5 favorite over the Rangers. Bieber on the mound.
Taking that all day.
I'm taking that all day, too. Bieber
G.
on the
Bush
mound?
No, it's not a doubleheader today, right?
No, doubleheader
That
was
was yesterday.
Yeah, doubleheader yesterday.
Right, I got confused because it said game 1 there.
Oh, that was probably left over from yesterday.
All right.
Probably
My bad. I
didn't
shouldn't
clean
even
that
have brought it up.
Yeah.
Gee,
pointed
you're
out
the
his
lone-
flaws.
I was like, is there a doubleheader again today? Did I miss?
You can fight Anthony after this.
Yeah, sorry. That's I shouldn't have brought it up.
One-on-one, mano-a-mano.
Gee, you're the lone dissenter there. You think they're going to lose
You're not
tonight?
believing in Bieber?
No.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. I looked at I didn't even know who the starter was for the
Who's pitching
for
for
the
You
Rangers.
just locked them in, right?
Who's pitching for Texas tonight?
I didn't even.
I
A
think
guy I never heard of.
Yeah, I hadn't
Dunning.
either. Yeah, Dunning.
Dane Dunning.
Yeah, I
they
looked him
acquired
up,
him
I'm
for
like-
the White Sox.
Yeah,
in
no,
trade.
no, no.
I think
I'm
I
taking
think
that all
I
day.
think this
Trash ERA.
this is a 4-2 game.
Nah, he's an okay pitcher.
This is a
He's a young
42
pitcher.
game all
Yeah.
day.
But Bieber's a lot better.
Yeah, Beaver's
4-2 game means
We
they cover,
win.
G.
By the way,
Yeah.
before we leave the Guardians, so they should have been
It's
a
a
sweep
1.5,
yesterday.
so
I
we
thought the
get-
game kind of
yeah,
got
we
away,
go
but it was
2.
5-3
It's 4-2. We covered.
in the
Yeah.
6th or 7th inning. The reason I missed that was because I took the under on 8 runs.
Right. Well, it would have been a wash.
Yeah.
Would have been a.
No, I think the bet was over 8.
Over it, yeah.
Oh,
8 would
so
have been a
Eight
loss.
would have been a
8
win.
would have been a loss.
Why? It said plus. It said over 8.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know how that
It
would
was
have worked.
written. No, it was written that they would score more than 8 runs, and it was sitting at 5-3.
That's true. Technically, the way you worded
No,
it,
I would have won it
8
if
would have been
it
a
wasn't
win.
for that meaningless home run in the 7th inning, the solo
Was it
shot.
meaningless for Marcus Simeon?
Yeah, but Simeon had 2 home runs already and
Yeah.
6 hits. It's a 2-run game. Why are you even pitching to him? I know the bases
I'm not pitching to a guy that high.
Put him on.
Yeah.
He took another low pitch and hit it out, and 3 home runs in one day. Stop pitching.
Another
to
good
that
inning
guy.
in the first game for Eli Morgan, by the way.
I know the kid looks
He's
great.
been great. All right, second game. Warriors 3.5-point underdogs at Boston. Game 3 of the NBA Finals.
God,
tonight.
Again,
what's-
G, the lone
what's up with
dissenter. You think
No.
the Celtics are going to win?
Yeah, it's game 2, 3.
3, yeah.
It's game 3. They come out blazing tonight. This way, just let the leader, let the guy in the clubhouse work his magic here. Let me see this.
Yeah, we can't pick fault.
Let me put this back on.
He's got the belt.
So you can understand what I'm doing right now. I'm up on this one too.
It's upside down.
Oh, it's all good. hey, turn it upside down. Hey, Mikey, you're supposed to tell me that in my ear. Gee.
I'm talking to Chris. Hold on.
I've got your back. Don't worry.
Wait a
G-Bush,
second.
I've got
Can you
your
put
back.
that graphic up for that game again?
Yeah, give us 1 second.
you're
had
not
it the other
taking
way?
goal. So the line on that was Warriors plus 3.5.
Hold on. Let me look at mine.
Oh, yeah.
So that means the Golden State Warriors are going to win by 3, right?
No,
this means they have to cover.
that means
the
they're,
Warriors are getting 3.
yeah, they're getting 3.5.
Okay, so they
you-
gotta.
wait, who are you picking to win?
So hold on. So if they
That's why his record is so good.
If-
He's
if
been
Boston-
He has
bending
no
the
idea
wrong
what he's
way.
doing.
if Boston
Doing it backwards
if
for
Boston
3 weeks.
win on this, right? So say
If
Boston
Boston
win by
wins
6.
or loses by
By
3 or
4.
by 3 or less, you win.
So if Boston wins, I win, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's all
Oh,
I
that's what
care
you
about.
wanted.
See?
Yeah, but he asked you, so Golden State's going to win.
No,
You
Boston,
wanted to-
Boston will
Boston
win.
got to win by 4 to win.
Yeah, that's easy money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you win by you're gonna win by 8.
What's his overall record?
way too good, apparently.
Well, apparently we need to flip it.
He's 30 and
No,
23.
he had it right. He had it right.
I said he's gonna win.
Go ahead. What's
That's
the last
all
one?
good.
Here.
All right, and the last one.
He been betting the wrong
Klay
way.
Thompson over 19.5 points. Gee, if you don't get this one, we have an issue, brother.
We're all bad on this.
Yeah.
Clay ain't just, ain't Clay, man.
I haven't seen it
Which
yet.
is weird because the three of us are picking the Warriors to win, and you think if they're going to win, maybe Clay finally has a big game.
Yeah, but we've seen Clay for enough time now to know that he's just not the same guy.
Clay looked like he walking in clay. This man,
Clay.
this man is
It's sad.
He never really was the most athletic dude, but he's relegated to these finger rolls and pump fakes. I'm like, bro, anytime you make Jordan Poole look like you like athletic, I'm like, bro, Clay, man.
Yeah, but you know what gave me pause on this though is on any given night.
He will go for 40.
If that dude gets it zeroed in,
it's over with.
he could hit 8 3-pointers.
He could. He sure could. He could.
Here's the bottom line. When Draymond plays like Draymond, which is relentless on the
Game
boards
2.
and relentless on defense,
Yeah, under their
they
skin.
win almost all the time.
Yeah, no, they do.
He didn't play that way in Game 1. He did in Game 2, and that's why they won.
I think
he
he's
intimidated Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart's a better scorer than Draymond.
He got under
but
his
he's their
skin right
similar
away.
type of player, and he intimidated him, I thought.
All right, without further ado, finally, this is like our most anticipated guest because when we tried to get him on the first time, it looked like he was using dial-up. I'm not sure what happened. He looked like Max Headroom. It was just the picture wasn't good. I don't even think he could hear us. But without further ado, let's bring in Cleveland native and just a terrific member of the national media. You've seen him for years.
He's got a good beard,
NFL
too.
Network. I know he's rocking it despite the gray. He's keeping it. I think it's a good look, Chris. Welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, Jay. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I make a promise to my wife every year, ever since the pandemic, that once the NFL draft is over and my NFL network duties are over, and I'm no longer on linear television until the fall, I say I will gladly grow out my beard. And the last time I did it, I did a little dye job because it was the first time I had ever had a beard in my life, basically because I couldn't grow one until I was 40. And then by the time I got to 40, then all this other stuff started showing up. Yeah. So I was like, can I at least dye a little bit? And she was like, yeah. And we matched it pretty well, still kept a little bit of the gray, and it didn't look like it was an obvious dye job. And this time she looked at me and she's like, I kind of dig the gray. Wow. I was like, when you've been married 35 years and your wife says, I'm kind of digging it,
yeah, you're
keeping it.
Yeah.
So I'm going full playoff hockey beard right now. That might be the worst picture I've ever seen. You guys, I don't know if I was asked to have 3 chins at that point because it was
that
like,
doesn't
now
even
granted,
look like
I've lost
you.
a little weight since then.
The beard definitely
I'm
makes
feeling
it
more
look
muscular
different.
in tone. My Cleveland against the world T-shirt.
I love that.
Okay.
It doesn't
Let's
even
go.
look
What do
like
we
you.
got,
McNuggets wants to weigh in.
By
on
the way, what's
picture, I think.
unusual about this story, and I wouldn't know anything about 3 chins, unlike you, Chris, but
right.
Yeah, not at all. But usually most women want guys to get rid of their beard.
No.
And your wife has gone the opposite, so you've got a good woman there. It's
My
going
wife
the
won't let
opposite
me
there. I
get
like
rid of
that.
mine.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I think what she was hoping for was that it would be like she was married to a new person, and I said, unfortunately, I still have the same crappy personality, beard or none.
Hey,
so
Chris,
that's just the way we roll with this.
I grew it out for No Shave November, and like you, I couldn't grow a full beard till I was over 40. And
Right.
I had never gone 2 weeks without shaving. But I kept looking in the mirror every day saying, who the hell is that? My beard was like 80% white, bro. And the good thing about, I finally shaved it on December 1st. And the best thing about it is when I took it off, I felt like, and I looked like I was 20 years younger. I looked 100 with this beard. I felt like Santa Claus. And at least you have some color in there.
No, I'm 51. I feel 81, and I look 71. So it's really hitting all the proper notes.
Oh, look what they've done. Look what they've done. They've
We're never going to get him back as a guest again. What are you doing here?
I know, Chris. You're a good-looking guy.
Sure
they can find a better picture.
No, that is legally the only picture we are allowed to use of Chris.
Why?
It is the only
That's
one
what
we
Steve
have
Becker
rights to
said,
use
apparently.
on YouTube. On USA Today
McNuggets,
Images.
It's funny. You could have texted me and said, "Hey, do you have a better photo than the one where you look like you're a Macy's Day, Thanksgiving Day float or something?" So, all right, let's get to some sports.
Yeah,
guys.
Chris,
I'm
let me get to-
I can hear everybody clicking at us off of YouTube. Let's go.
Let's get to Deshaun Watson here. And I don't listen. All of what happened off the field, we understand. At this point, it's he said, she said. But what I want to know from your perspective is, As a Browns fan, do you want him to just settle so in some way this will be over? Do you want to just wait for it to play out? Like, what are you thinking as a fan, and what are you, I guess, hoping for as a fan, how this will resolve itself?
All right, so obviously this has been a very difficult situation for lifelong Browns fans like myself, right? Sure. I don't know how the legal proceedings are going to work their way out. I'm not smart enough to know that. And I don't know how the NFL is going to handle it, although I think a decent punishment is forthcoming. And so I understand that. So I have tried to compartmentalize this. And as a father of two boys that are 21 and 16, we have a lot of talks over the years about when you have a passion for a team, you're not going to either agree with how every player, coach, management person in the organization leads their life, what they have done, but you also want to root for your team, right? And that's where I find myself as a Browns fan right now. So I have to compartmentalize what goes on with Deshaun Watson, the person, with the guy I want to be the quarterback of my team. Okay, so whenever he comes out and is the quarterback of the team, whether it's game 1, game 9, 2023 or whatever, I will continue to root for the Browns. I will continue to root for the team and the guys inside the uniforms. It would be a perfect world if you feel great about the people you're cheering for.
Of course.
And in some cases, they are wonderful people. And in some cases, they are polar opposite of you. And we don't, when you go into a restaurant, when you go into a hotel, when you go into a movie theater, you don't know the beliefs of every person that owns that place.
That's right.
Or runs it. Or when you watch a movie, you don't know everything about the actors. You don't know everything about the musicians that you listen to in your car or the concerts you go to. You just want to be entertained and you want to enjoy something. And so that's how I'm dealing with it as a Browns fan. It might not be right for everybody else, but that's how we do it. And I'm constantly checking in with my sons about how they feel when new information comes out about Deshaun Watson. I think that's how you have to handle it as a parent, because it is a constant moving target right now.
Chris, as Deshaun Watson, the player on the field, and the Cleveland Browns on the field, how do you feel about this collective unit? I know the last couple of years we've had Odell Beckham Jr., we've had a lot of different other players who we said, hey, this team has really high hopes. They're going to do this, that, and the third. But when you look at it on paper now, as constituted, do you think this is one of the most talented teams that you've had an opportunity to watch or to see come together as a collective?
Yeah, we haven't seen an offense like this heading into a season probably since the mid to late 80s, when it was really – I remember one preseason game. It was probably heading into the year where we lost the drive. I'm going to say that's the year it was. So it was the year after Bernie's rookie year where we lost the big lead, the 21-3 lead down in Miami. And the next year in the preseason, that's when guys played a lot of preseason snaps. I want to say it was a game against Atlanta. And we looked so good. I remember watching it with my boys from high school. And we were like, holy smokes, like we got something special here, right? And, we had drafted Webster Slaughter, and Reggie Langhorne was young, and we still had Ozzie at the peak of his career, and Mack and Biner were doing their thing, and a really solid offensive line, and Bernie, who wanted to actually play for his hometown team and everything. I was like, this is really going to – but you look at this team, and if and when Deshaun ever gets on the field, when you listen to people that covered him in Houston, he made average receivers outside of D-Hop look really, really good. And so I'm not worried about the wide receiver room. I still think, even though they dropped Hooper, I still like our tight end situation. I would like to maybe see us add a third vet that can help out. The running game is unparalleled, and the offensive line is top 5. So it is an exciting thought process.
And to your point, Chris, not only did he not have any top wide receivers besides Hopkins, as you say, he goes from, you talk about this great running game. In Houston, he never had anybody. And their offensive line, for the most part, especially the last few years there, was terrible.
Yeah. He's got the weapons.
Huge upgrades.
It is. He made, listen, Will Fuller was a first-round pick, but he was an every other game guy.
Yep.
He missed a ton of time.
Yep.
He never had a stud tight end. You mentioned, the running game was never great. He turned guys like Kiki Cutie into decent ball players.
Yeah.
So yes, he is nobody's debating how good a quarterback talent-wise. Like, he is, on a good year, he's a top 5 or 6 quarterback. In a bad year, he's still probably top 11.
Yeah, and if he makes good average players good players better, he's going to make some of the great players that the Browns have on this offense. He's going to turn them into household names. Like, everybody knows our running backs, but I think, to your point, he's got one really good wide receiver. But I think I'm not worried as much about the wide receivers because of who's throwing the football. He's going to throw them open and find them open.
Yeah.
Chris, I'm asked this all the time, and I'm sure you are too, being a Cleveland sports guy. Which team would it mean most to you for them to win a championship? Obviously, we had the Cavs title in 2016, but are you more a Guardians, Indians guy? Are you more Brown? Like, which one would be the pinnacle for you?
Well, I would say Browns, because when I was growing up, Jay, much like you, that was the team. Mm-hmm. And I try to tell everybody, like, in the 1980s, they were great. They were like one of the elite teams in the NFL, and people look at me like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, of course I'm sure. I went to all the games. Yes. From 1978 through 1995, and back then, not every game was on TV.
Right.
Like, there were blackouts back then.
A lot of them.
I missed one game either in person, on TV, or on radio, on the rare occasion that I didn't go to a home game and it got blacked out. And that's because I had to fly to a funeral. It was a game that we ended up beating the Buffalo Bills, where Webster Slaughter got kicked out of the game. Not that I remember much about it, but so yeah, I mean, it would be that. I've had the good fortune, or maybe misfortune, of being at the Drive. I've been at the Shot. I was at all the games, obviously the 2016 World Series, covering it. And then when we finally won something, it was on Father's Day in 2016. We had a big party over here, and I remember hugging my sons. The oldest one was just shy of 16. The younger one was 10. And I was like, savor this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in my mid-40s and finally winning something. You damn well better appreciate this every day. Like, you might not get another one. Yeah. So please soak this one in. Enjoy it.
Yeah, same experience for me.
Speaking of the Cavaliers, since Doherty and Price and those guys, it's basically, with one rare exception a while ago, it's basically been LeBron were great, no LeBron were terrible. Last year was the first year in forever that didn't fit into that category, and it feels like, with all this young talent, that they're on the upswing. How high they can get, time will tell. Obviously, the season ended in disappointment, a lot of injuries. But did you really enjoy watching this season? So different than many others for the Cavs in recent years?
Yeah, it was great. And we've been through a lot of, I'm not even going to say the 4-letter word, the last few years.
Yeah.
But we have trudged through in Roseville out here. My son's born and bred in Los Angeles, but they are Cleveland sports through and through. So even through all this stuff, we have watched a lot of bad basketball since LeBron left the second time. We don't just turn it off because they suck.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a character builder. This is where I've always said Cleveland sports fans are 90% scar tissue. I was like, this is where it builds up. So this season was remarkable. They were fun to watch. They were elite defensively during the regular season until our two big guys got injured. I liked the plan. I think JB Bickerstaff, I like the way he coaches a team emotionally.
Yeah.
I wish Ty Lue would send him some plays to draw up out of timeouts because Ty was great at that. I think we missed that an awful lot. But I think Garland is fantastic. He's like, talent-wise, he's Kyrie light, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I think Kyrie's one of the most skilled players that we've ever seen in this game. So I think they are really, really close to being in the thick of that Eastern Conference, and that is a good conference.
And it feels like they all want to be here. Now, maybe they don't, who knows? But they all feel like it feels like they all like playing together and playing here.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously to the fans, that means a lot. We'll see if it ends up being true, but it feels that way right now.
Totally. Yeah, and you want, like, one of my favorite things in sports is when guys from other teams in the same city rally around those teams, because they're not from Cleveland. Most of the guys that play for a Cleveland sports team aren't from Cleveland. Like last night, Ronald Acuna Jr., who's one of the stars of the Atlanta Braves, has a multi-homer night, and he does the whole shout-out to Trae Young with his ice tray move.
Right.
And, he does it doesn't look as good on a 51-year-old man who just looks like he's cold when he's doing this. But, I love it that they've got that connection. I loved it when Joe Hayden used to go up when the Cavs were in the lottery every year and be a part of that. It was an amazing story. And I just think it's cool when everybody's kind of pulling in the same direction.
Yeah.
It's really cool. What happened? I don't get any questions from the middle of the panel. I don't get to deal with the outside guys here. Am I that scary?
It was some magic happening.
No, what? I'm gonna peel back the curtain. So here's what happened, bro. Tyvis
Don't talk about it.
couldn't go the 2 hours without going to the bathroom.
And he's the youngest guy on here.
He had to peel away to go to the bathroom. So he's been gone for 3 minutes.
Yeah. So they couldn't show the middle of the screen.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Y'all know how long I was holding that?
When we go to a Guardians game, it's 8 blocks away. We're about 4 blocks away. He's like, "Are we almost there yet? I got to go to the bathroom." So, look, a 2-hour show is a long time for him.
I'm saying, listen.
Hey, there's one of two things happening here. You're either 8 years old and you haven't told us, and I got to pull the car over for you again, or you're pregnant. Those are the only two possibilities here.
Well, his wife just did give birth.
Right.
You know how long I've been holding that, Chris? I've been here shaking for about 30 minutes.
Now,
No, but the average American wouldn't have made it 5. So 30 minutes.
So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
So you were like, when is Chris Rose coming on so I can take the segment off? Is that really
I gotta
what
go
it's
so
come down
bad.
to?
Well, look, now
You know what?
played-
All right, see you
He
later.
played in
I
the
gotta go to the
NFL.
bathroom,
I mean, he was
too.
out on the field for 3 hours.
Tyvis, now it's your turn to ask
Let's
a
go.
question.
Listen,
Now that
you
you're
gotta ask
back.
one.
I don't see the question. Problem is I don't know what was asked. Okay, my question is this. My question is, so say the Browns don't have a great season. Say they finish 500. Do you think Kevin Stefanski should be on the hot seat?
No, absolutely not. No. We've gone down that road.
Ooh, that's a pain
Everything
look.
yeah, it just is, right? I mean, we're a franchise that was changing head coaches like most people change T-shirts. Like, that is not the way to roll. I feel like we've got the right guys on the sideline and in the front office making decisions. There is a ton of talent here. Obviously what Stefanski did in 2020 was nothing short of remarkable. A lot of those games where they won one-score games in 2020, they lost one-score games a year ago. And that's going to be the tell here. That's going to be the difference. And they just happen to be, in my opinion, in the toughest division in football. Kind of sucks. Well, all right, second toughest. I guess I would say the AFC West, just because
Quarterback
they have
heaven.
more proven quarterbacks there. But this division is very close. I mean, the Bengals lost the Super Bowl by less than a score.
Yeah.
And they only finished 2 games ahead of the team that finished in 4th place. There was no other division quite like it in the NFL.
Yeah.
So the Browns have got to go. The minimum they can go is 3-3 in the division. 4-2 would be amazing, and take care of business elsewhere. But I would not put Stefanski unless it just totally unravels and they go 3-14 or something, and you're hearing bad stuff out of the locker room. But I can't see that happening.
Chris, you have another question for my middle panelist. This is
Great, thank you. Go ahead.
This is G.
The
Bush.
delegate from Delaware.
Yes. Now I got it. So we're gonna press you a little bit here, right? See, these guys give you the fluff questions and all this food. They talk about what you're eating for dinner and all that. So let's get. So
we too much.
If you knew, and you had a crystal ball, and you knew, say for instance, Deshaun Watson was getting suspended for a year, doesn't play all this year, would you take Baker Mayfield 5th year, knowing that what you know, or would you say, I'm cool, I'll still make the move for Deshaun Watson? Which one would you take?
Well, I don't think that listen, I'm a guy that deals in reality. So is there a possibility that Deshaun Watson could get suspended an entire season? I mean, it's possible. Anything is on the table with the league at this point. I just read right before I came on here that the Browns have excused Baker from the mandatory minicamp. And that's fine. Makes sense. I do think one play that has to literally be in their back pocket at this point is if they do find out over the next month or whatever that they're going to be without Deshaun Watson for a considerable amount of time. And once again, I don't know if that's 8 games. I don't know if it's a full season. I have no idea what it is. But if it's a substantial amount of time, I really believe it would be smart for both the organization and Baker Mayfield to get in a room and sit down and talk things out, because the team would need him. I know they brought in Jacoby Brissett. He is not nearly as good as Baker Mayfield. If this team does have Super Bowl aspirations, which I believe it does, that I think that trying to get on the same page with Baker, and people are going to say, well, Rose, shut your mouth. There's no way Baker would do that. Well, hold on here a second. Baker Mayfield, last time I checked, does not have Tom Brady's resume. Okay? He is at a critical juncture in his career. Baker can either self-evaluate and say, listen, I have been good when I've been healthy. I have been a key component of a team that broke a playoff drought. But then I've also been at the low where I've been maybe not told everything that I should have been. Maybe there was a miscommunication on all this sort of stuff. But I need to do this for me. Guys, Jimmy Garoppolo watched the San Francisco 49ers trade 3 first-round picks for a kid that played at North Dakota State.
Yeah.
They were in the same quarterback room. Did you hear a peep out of Jimmy Garoppolo?
No, because one's an adult and one's a child, Chris. That's the problem. That's
okay,
the problem.
Okay, so the whole point is,
yeah,
I understand that.
Yeah.
But Baker Mayfield has to do what's right for Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
And it's not getting dragged kicking and screaming on his way out of Berea. That's not the answer for him.
So
the
Chris,
answer is,
go ahead.
Yes.
Finish that point. Because you might.
Yeah, the answer is show who you are, that you can be the leader of a team, that you know it's a 1-year deal where you're going to get paid almost $19 million anyway. And if you could lead a team to the playoffs or be in there for however many games you have to be until Deshaun Watson's back, great. Go do that for you, man. Go do it for you. Because you know what's not going to work? Sitting in the corner, crying about it and saying, I got screwed. Because 31 other teams don't give a damn about that guy.
True.
So that's been my theory. What you just laid out there has been my theory for the entire month that we've been doing this show. And these guys, Chris, have crucified me over and over
because I just don't buy that Baker's
you up for that.
You did set
I
me
just
up
don't
for
buy
that.
that.
I didn't crucify
In theory, Chris is right. What he's saying makes sense, but I still will never be convinced until it happens that Baker will show that maturity to do that.
But Chris started his answer the same way I've started mine. There have been plenty of instances in the history of the NFL where quarterbacks and teams that haven't seen eye to eye have done the professional thing, which is their job. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
Chris started it by saying the Browns and Baker Mayfield need to get in a room and figure this out. Because they both, if there's a long suspension, they both need each other.
I get it.
The Browns
I get what you
need
guys
Baker
say,
Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield needs a team.
I get it. I understand what you guys are saying.
You keep
In
saying he's
rational
not
world, it
mature
makes
enough to
sense.
do
I have
that.
no reason to believe he will show that kind of maturity.
I don't know why you
He's
don't
still
think
proven
that.
otherwise.
Well, if he has any aspirations of playing again in the NFL, he will definitely show
eventually
that
he'll
maturity.
get traded and somebody else will
Chris,
give him a chance.
Chris said he's not Tom Brady. And that's what I said yesterday.
I get it.
said,
But he
doesn't
thinks he's
have-
Tom Brady.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't think
No,
he's
he
Tom
doesn't.
Brady.
Hey,
he
Maybe
knows
not Tom
what he
Brady.
is.
All right, Tom Brady a little too far.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He knows he's not Tom Brady. He knows that.
He thinks he's
He
better
wants
than
to
he
be
is, though.
Tom.
I think.
But you know what? He's good. He is a good quarterback. Once again, I gave you the parameters of where I thought Deshaun Watson fell when he hits his ceiling and when he hits his floor in a given year.
Yeah.
For Baker, when he hits his ceiling, he's about top 12. When he hits his floor like he did last year, he's about 21. Right? If you're to line up the 32 starting quarterbacks,
I think that's
as of
dead
right
on.
now, that's where he is.
Yep.
And he might not think that. He might slide himself higher, and his floor would be higher as well. But at some point, somebody's got to sit him down and say, you're at your best when nobody believes in you. And that is right now. But you are going to have to swallow some pride and go back to the team that is paying you right now.
Right.
Because even if he gets released right now, is he going to be in a better situation
Probably
than
not.
possibly starting half of the season for the Cleveland Browns?
No, but if he were going to do that, Chris, and show that maturity, wouldn't he come to OTAs?
No. I don't think. I think both sides probably got together on this one and said it doesn't help either side right now because they don't know the penalty that Deshaun is facing.
What about if
they
this still
knew
drags
it,
to training camp? Does he
well,
show up
that's
at
going to
training
be a
camp?
problem then.
Yeah,
Then that's
I
gonna
think
be a
so
problem.
too. That's when they have to deal with it.
Right.
This is kind
That's
of
when
breaking
it becomes
news.
It's not missing a few OTAs. Coaches
Yeah.
can say as much as they want, hey, man, we need everybody here. We want it.
Yeah.
No. I can't tell you who was at OTAs and who wasn't last year.
Right.
I sure as hell can tell you who won the Super Bowl.
But it becomes the elephant in the room once training camp starts.
Now, I'm going to give you this, Jay.
Yes.
This is breaking news. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to be honest.
Breaking news cart.
Give me that breaking news card, bro. give me that together.
With no music
underneath it.
Cricket.
I think for me, I'm gonna change my mind about something.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna change my mind. Now I got a caveat.
So wait, Chris presents the idea and it's good, but Jay's been presenting for a month and it sucks.
No, well, here's what we're going to breaking news.
Baker Mayfield will be the 10th best quarterback in the AFC. They're not winning the Super Bowl with him. We've already established
G. Bush
that.
has come around to something. If Deshaun Watson is suspended for an entire year,
right?
I am on board with Baker Mayfield being quarterback.
Finally.
But if it's 8, I'm not doing it. If 6, I'm not doing it. 4.
Yeah, but Chris, 8 might as well be a year because if it's 8, doesn't it feel like that the season's over at that point? I mean, I don't know what they can do.
They're not
without
making
him
the
for
playoffs
8
if
games.
Watson is suspended.
I don't think they
Probably
are.
not.
I don't think they are.
It's
Chris,
a year.
what's your thought?
I'm doing it.
If it's half a season, if it's 8 games, my guess is that it probably wouldn't be worth it for the franchise to go through it because if they go 6-2 in those 8, you know how everybody's going to react.
Oh, man, talk about a nightmare.
And guys, those first 4 games are like, you look at it, it's like,
yeah, very
man,
winnable.
Easy.
They've got to go at least 3-1 in the first 4, and then
they got to do it.
Then they got a few tough ones coming up, but it's not easy. It's a real mess. There's a lot going on here.
I know
Do we have anything where we can end on a smiley here?
Yes,
because
wait a second. I got it. Because before you go, we've talked about all these depressing names. Let's talk about 3 superstars in this town that are great role models and exciting to talk about. And that's Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett, and Jose Ramirez. You have to go to dinner. You're treating, Chris, and you can only take 2 of those 3 guys. Who are you leaving at home?
Ooh. I like that question.
Well, Miles is going to cost me the most.
Probably
with a guy that burns that many calories by just doing a standing jump of 64 inches.
Which was insane.
I mean, geez, I'm going to have to buy him the entire menu. But he's probably the most fascinating of the 3. I would take him and I would take Jose. I love Nick Chubb, but I think I'd run out of things to say after like 90 seconds. What's he good? I want some good dinner conversation, some laughs. Miles is worldly. He could
Jose
tell
isn't
me where
speaking
to
much
stamp
English.
my passport. That'd be great, though. He does. He'll speak enough.
All right.
He'll speak enough, and that's perfectly fine. I would go necklace shopping with him, because how pimp is that to wear a necklace of you wearing a necklace?
Yeah, it is the best.
That is pretty awesome.
He's the man.
It almost tops the pearl necklace.
Yeah.
It was good.
The pearl necklace, huh?
Last year. You know what I'm talking about, right, Chris?
Yeah, we know what you're talking
Jock
about.
Peterson stuff. That was
Jock
that was
Peterson.
pretty good.
I'm kidding.
Was wearing. Come on, where's your mind, bull?
Hey, you before the show. Do we have to bring that up again?
No, listen.
Sorry.
That is too.
I'm taking us off the rails
That
here.
is complete locker room stuff.
Go ahead. Mike, does Mikey have a question?
Nuggets, go.
Yeah, Chris, I'm saving the best question for last, and I apologize we have to go through all this to get to this one. But this is a topic tomorrow, so I need you guys to hold off on this.
All right.
Says the guy wearing a hoodie when it's 90 degrees, by the way. Go ahead.
It's cold back here. Chris, if you could add one player that played on the Browns from the year 2000 up to last year, to this year's roster,
That's an easy answer.
Easy.
what player would you add to the Browns roster that would be most helpful
That's
to
the
them?
dumbest question I've ever heard.
No, it's not. There's
Wow.
so many ways you go with this.
Tyvis Powell. That's the easy.
Oh, so Braylon Edwards isn't the right answer, guys? that's not the right one.
No.
Why were you guys thinking wide receiver?
No, I was thinking
I'm
Joe
thinking
Thomas.
Joe Thomas for crying out loud.
Thomas for sure.
No,
Yeah,
I'm taking
I
Josh
guess
Gordon.
so. I mean, if we're gonna go that way, if we're gonna go the easiest route,
Easy
That's
route.
true. That's fair. That is
It's
the
the
guess.
best answer.
Peyton Hillis, one season.
But are we? So wait a second. Are we adding Yogi, Joe Thomas? Because that's what he looks like these days.
God,
Yeah,
I know
it's
it's
true.
Seen him.
He
insane.
is.
How
Or
about
are we-
Phil Dawson?
Are we going
maybe?
like Phil Dawson's a great one? There's one other one I would consider. I would consider Jameer Miller, the year that he really did some damage at the edge. I like him a lot. I
Well,
always
if you're
liked him, and
picking
then he-
specific years, you'd probably have to go with was it 2013? Josh Gordon?
I'd say
Was it
Josh
2013?
Yeah,
Gordon.
13. He had 1,600 yards receiving in 14,
games with
Yeah,
no
that's not
quarterback.
Yeah, that is
yeah,
good.
back-to-back 200-yard games or
I
whatever
think it was three
Yeah,
straight.
that's-
In fact, I was recently looking this up. Now that Chris said this, he had in a 3-game stretch that year, he had over 700 receiving yards, which I believe is an NFL record.
And probably will never be
Pretty
touched.
good.
Yeah. It was
But
nuts.
guys, I still think that the
Kyle
way you
Shanahan.
come about this, the way you go at this, is who's the Hall of Famer?
Right. And
mean,
and Jedrick Wills, I have some questions about.
Yeah, just give
you
me
know.
Joe Thomas.
Yeah, he's been.
He's the guy.
It's
been
okay.
average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Joe Thomas is it.
Who's your favorite
Unless-
coworker,
has there
Chris
been
Rose?
Can I take Michael Dean Perry from
Yeah,
the late '80s?
Yeah, I'll take him.
Yeah. Well,
Well, then we take
All right,
Isaac
guys, I gotta
Newsom
run.
going back the
wait,
80s.
before you
Thanks,
go,
guys.
who's your favorite coworker of all time?
Stop! I'm not going to answer that. What are you doing, moron?
Listen, I've been asked that a
this
billion
guy.
I've worked
times.
in this business for 30 years, for goodness sake.
Listen, I just wanted to put
Insane.
you on the same hot seat I've always been on
Chris.
forever.
Guys, I got to go dye my beard. I'll go.
Thank you, Chris.
I'll see you guys
We
later.
appreciate
Chris
it.
Rose, the great Chris Rose. He's got to work that
What
third
do you
chin
think
off.
I am, a moron?
So you
Yeah,
trying
no,
to
listen.
set me up.
I always answer that. I'll answer that question as long as there's no microphone or a reporter with a pen around.
Yeah, sure.
I'll tell stories because I have a lot of different favorites, but it's the one question that when you do interviews with local radio stations or whatever, they all want to know who's the biggest jerk at ESPN. Yeah, sure. Let me just give you a list. And I knew he wouldn't go there, but I still wanted to put him in that spot. Are we going to just wrap it right here? Let's
wrap it.
We still have a sponsored segment. We
Oh,
still have to do
my
what
goodness.
the internet is
Let's do
saying.
that.
And I
Oh,
want to
say
show
goodbye.
you guys this because it was funny
Oh,
yesterday. But as
man.
always, what the internet is saying is brought to you by PCC Airfoils. Looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio, and all locations of PCC Airfoils at Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for positions. What are you saying, Jay?
Sorry.
We're not
seeing the
PCC
airfoils on the
airfoils.
screen right now.
Steve, let's get PCC Airfoils. We jumped ahead, but it's all good. They're hiring for positions starting at $18 an hour and up, plus get a full benefit package, paid time off, and a signing bonus. Apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. So what you guys just saw real quick
Yeah.
Airfoil.
took over the internet yesterday. We're going to pull back 89, Steve, and pull it up, and I'll kind of talk you guys through this. But this is video, a little bit of the new Madden trailer leaked, and it's Nick Chubb trucking Marlon Humphrey.
I love it.
So let's cut to the next video. Marlon
Yes.
Humphrey got wind of this, and he said, "Take me out the game right now before I sue you at EA Madden." This got 85,000 likes on Twitter and 8,000 retweets. So there was a couple great responses to this, and because it's Nick Chubb, we're just going to read my favorite two. Let's go to the next one, Steve. It looks like Chubb took you out the game. No problem.
That is good. He
And
is out of the game.
one more. Tyvis, you know this.
Yeah.
He's got to get his weight up.
I mean,
Nick
he's a
Chubb's
great
straight
player,
Chubb.
Marlon Humphrey.
Oh, he's good.
No, he's really good.
But what is he talking about before I sue you?
Yeah, he
EA Sports signed a contract, an exclusive deal.
No, he's joking.
He's joking.
Okay,
It's
all
a
right,
joke.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you
Well,
talking
doesn't
about?
oh my God, I just forgot his name. The guy who was the great Laker player who wants to sue about the TV show. His name.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Jerry West.
Jerry
No,
West.
Jerry West.
Jerry West.
Jerry West. wants to take it to the first of all, you can't just take whatever you want to the Supreme Court, Jerry West. Let's go.
And I mean, you think he would
It's
know this because
entertainment.
he spent a large deal of his life in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
It's called Hollywood
Yes.
creative liberty.
Exactly.
Like that's what they're doing here. They're
And he
making
only looks
it more
dopey
enjoyable.
early. As the show went on, he kind of got better. His
Yeah,
character was
if you
better.
want to put me in a movie, I'll look like the biggest you know what you want me to.
And
Just
by the
go
way,
ahead and throw
bad
me
job
in
at
there.
all you guys for not seeing that show.
I watched it.
Oh, you watched the whole thing?
Yeah. What'd you think?
I liked it.
It was great.
Very
I've been
interesting. I was
told
locked in.
by 50 people I have to watch it.
Yeah, I
The
didn't see
guys who
that.
Like
played
it's
Kareem and
mandatory.
Magic, I felt like I was really, even though they don't really look like them,
I heard
Not at all,
that-
but
I kind of
they-
felt like I was watching
yeah.
Kareem and Magic.
I heard John C. Riley is just
Oh, he was amazing.
incredible as
He's
Jerry
amazing.
Buss.
He was great.
He is.
Yeah.
But the guys who played Kareem and Magic were good. They were both good. I mean, I don't know how realistic it was, but
I think the
I
guy
think
that played
Magic
Kareem
was very realistic.
yeah, it came off.
The guy that played Kareem, I think, actually played basketball at
Well,
UCLA.
he's
Someone
huge,
told
I
me.
mean.
Someone told me he played at UCLA. I
Yeah,
don't know if
yeah,
that's
yeah.
true or not.
The guy who plays Magic was a football player in college.
I did hear that. Yeah, I got to check it out, man.
Yes.
Everybody keeps telling me
It was
great.
really good.
It's good.
All right, we've paid the bills. Special thanks to Chris Rose, who was awesome. JT Barrett as well. JT ready to make that transition into the afterlife. We wish him all the best. We're back tomorrow. Our Thursday show, you have something, you want to tease something on tomorrow's show that you were telling me about? I
Yeah.
sent you a text this morning about something that we had to put in the show, and Chris Rose mentioned it. So what are we
we're
doing
gonna
on
talk
tomorrow's show?
about Myles Garrett and just how much of a freak that dude is.
Did you guys see the box jump?
That was
Insanity.
amazing.
Every time
But
I
you
see
know what? At this point, I've seen so much. I still thought it was cool, but at this point, I've seen Myles Garrett do so many freaky things like that it doesn't even stun me anymore. Like it used to
doesn't,
stun me
but
when I would see it.
It's still, there's some shock
But
factor to
he's-
watching a man that
I mean-
big jump onto a box that's
tell you
64 inches off the ground.
I tell you what, man. I always say it, man. If you want to be freaked out, just go to any one of these weight rooms for any of these college or pros.
Yeah.
You're gonna be freaked out. You're like, but that guy's not good. It doesn't matter.
Is
They're all
Myles
big.
Garrett just the best physical talent?
Let's save it for tomorrow.
I almost
up
hate
there.
to
Save
say
for
that
tomorrow.
because I
He's
feel
up
like
there.
it takes away from him. It like this.
No,
I
he
don't
is a he is
He's such a freak.
physical
Yeah.
specimen
Yeah.
who also has freakish athletic ability because we know that there's guys that look the part,
Yeah.
but they play like Jane, and then there's
Yeah.
guys that don't
Yeah.
look
Right.
the part, but they're all over the field.
Right, right,
And this
right.
guy looks like Tarzan, and he plays like Tarzan.
Yeah.
He's the real deal. We'll
We
talk much
also
more about
have
that
DeQuell
tomorrow.
Jackson,
DeQuell's back.
Aditi,
Wow.
and a USFL head coach.
Oh, DeQuell
Really?
on Thursday?
Do we want to say which one, or we want to hold that?
We don't know which one yet.
Oh,
They
it's just
haven't
like-
told us which one they're
They
giving
have a
us yet.
roulette
so-
wheel at the USFL office, and you have to go on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
Well, it's the playoffs now, and the championship's being played in Canton at the Hall of Fame. So
Right.
for the next
I
4
didn't
weeks, we
know
have a
that.
sponsorship with the USFL, and they're going to send us a coach or a player each of the next couple
Nice.
weeks.
Oh,
So
great deal.
It starts tomorrow.
Okay, very good. All right, we're back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.